Numbers here to look at. Tell me why these are important numbers for Nick Starkel in Arkansas.
Well, the fear that he can throw it not only vertically but horizontally. They did not get that done with Ben Hicks. Starkel gives you that extra added weapon.
Well, certainly a big day for Nick Starkel. For more on his story, let's go down to the sidelines and join Dawn Davenport. Hey, Dawn.
Well, Dave, tough start for Nick Starkel this season, and not just because he didn't win the starting job right off the bat. That same week, he also lost his best friend from high school to cancer. He missed a day of practice to attend his friend's funeral, and when he got a chance to see the field in their home opener, he said he just wasn't prepared mentally to handle it all. He told me he just needed a little more time. Guys, now 2 weeks later, he feels he's had that time. He's locked in. He's where he needs to be mentally to run this offense.
He'll have a chance to watch this Colorado State offense get the football first today as Arkansas won the toss. They deferred, so the Rams will have it first. And that means we get a look at this guy. Let's not overlook what he can do. Colin Hill, 6'5", 215-pounder, who has done everything, threw for over 300 yards in the first half last week.
Oh, you talk about another big arm guy. Those 2 ACLs that he tore have an opportunity now to have this team be his. Now he can go out and establish the style of offense they want to play with. And Coach Mike Bobo is so excited to have him back full-time leading this offense.
741 yards through 2 games, top 5 in the country. His confidence is back. He's got some weapons on the outside. And he's got a talented running back, number 5, Marvin Kinsey, in the backfield. They will throw on first down, a little bit low as they tried to hit Warren Jackson. Last week alone, 25 of 32, 367, 4 TDs, and no picks. Overall, completing 71% of his passes.
What's so good about Colin Hill? He makes great decisions with the football and quick decisions. He's a very confident player, but he doesn't throw it to the other team, which makes this offense go.
2nd down and 10 coming up for the Rams. Inside handoff. There's a seam and a big hole. Off to the races goes Kinsey. Nobody will catch him. 75 yards, and the Rams are on the board.
What a start for Colorado State. Second play of the ball game. Marvin Kinsey going 75 yards untouched. You saw the speed. Well, this is going to open up so many things for Colorado State to have this run game going. And these Arkansas fans are stunned after that second play, big play.
Saw some of that outstanding speed in the open field. Nice job up front by the Rams. And that offensive line, the point after, is up and good from Caden Camper, the true freshman.
And look on the backside here, no penetration. They do a good job. You see the one-arm tackle there, but just a bad angle right there by Cameron Curl to the ball tackler. And when you get a guy like Marvin Kinsey in space with that type of speed he has, he goes 75 yards untouched. And Arkansas, they got to be puzzled with the second play of the ball game, allowing Kinsey to go 75 yards on that play. The Chief, their defensive coordinator for Arkansas, will not be happy about the run fits more than anything in that particular play.
I'd be John Chavis, the defensive coordinator there, with his back to us, and talked to us about missed tackles last week. Well, there was no opportunity for the missed tackle. A missed assignment created that 75-yard touchdown run for Marvin Kinsey, who really came onto the scene back in 2016, but blew out a knee during bowl practice, and took him a while to get back, get his confidence back. And in the meantime, he seems to always be missing or being late for a meeting, getting in the doghouse. And
I don't think he'd be in the doghouse after that run.
No. Wow, just like that. 7-0 Colorado State on the board.
Big confidence builder for Colorado State on the road, putting up points right off the bat.
That kick will be fielded in the end zone for a touchback. But Nick Starkel announced in January that he was going to go back in January 2016, that he was going to go to Texas A&M after Kyler Murray and Kyle Allen transferred. He started the final 6 games as a redshirt freshman in 2017, set a school record with 499 passing yards in the Belk Bowl. Lost the starting job to Kellen Mond last year. and then decided to graduate, which he did in 3 years, and came here despite the fact that he knew SMU quarterback Ben Hicks was coming here. Felt like this was an opportunity, wasn't afraid to battle for the job, said it was a real gut punch to lose that starting job at Texas A&M. Felt like it was his, felt like he'd done everything to earn the job, but he says his road here, he's worked for it and feels good about getting it. First pass of the game is caught. Traylon Burks out of bounds. They will spot him around the 37-yard line. That'll go for 38 yards.
And look at him standing in the pocket, nice and strong, knowing he has the corner route, playing in cover 2 right there. Burks does a great job of his angle, taking a high angle towards that sideline, and a well-thrown football. You see already the arm strength and the ability to throw the ball downfield by Starkel.
Then they give it to Boyd. He will spin his way down to about the 32, give him 4.5 yards. Nick Starkel out of Argyle, Texas, becomes just the 3rd quarterback to start at 2 SEC schools. He brought that to our attention in our meetings yesterday with him. Tell you what, it's a different day with the transfer portal now, and you don't see as much, in the years past, coaches were really reluctant to allow kids to transfer within the league. And I think we're going to see more and more of that down the road with the way the system has been set up, at least for now.
And Dave, one thing we know about Starkel sitting in our meeting, he's not lacking for confidence, so he'll be excited for today's opportunity.
Pressure comes. He feels it, throws, pass is caught. Mike Woods will have the first down at the 25. Pick up a 6.
Again, a little pressure in the face of Starkel, but because he knows where he wants to go with the football, that ball is out of his hands quickly. We talk about the quick release. A guy blitzes, you throw it from where he replaces from. Here comes a big first down on 3rd down.
So on 1st down and 10, they'll fake it to Boyd, going up top, coming near side, trying to hit Trey Knox. Touchdown, Arkansas. That was quick, 24 yards.
Trey Knox, 6'5", 205, going against Andre Neal, who was about 6 feet tall. But we talked about the arm strength. We talked about Starkel's ability to get that football up at a high point, giving this guy a chance to go up and get it. Great response from Arkansas.
Well, they're 2 true freshman wide receivers, big on that drive. Traylon Burks with a big catch on the first play, and then Trey Knox capped it off with 24 yards. The 4-star top 40 wide receiver recruit making a name for himself. Much Trey Knox would play today. We knew he'd play, but he got stuck last week against Ole Miss. Got a hip pointer, been slowed all week long. Coach said he was going to play, but boy, I would say he has played and been a factor. First career touchdown, 24 yards from Nick Starkel. And in 2 drives that have accounted for 7 plays, we've gone 150 yards already.
Well, looks like we're going to have a high scoring affair here if that holds true, but I love the action by both teams coming out of here.
Connor Limpert to kick it away. That one will head into the end zone, but let's go back to that touchdown.
2 guys I want you to pay attention to is the safety here, but also you think play action matters. They're going to get action here, and you see Knox right at the end runs a good go route on the outside and holds his point. Watch the safety. The action forces him to come up just a half a second, and he takes a bad angle, but look at the ball placement. Outside and high, giving his guy a chance to go get the football. 6'5", is Trey Knox. And how about Nick Starkel starting this game 3 for 3, 68 yards in that tub?
That'll make you feel good.
Yeah.
Coming off a game where he was 17 of 24 for 201 in the second half. Now Colin Hill dumped that pass off. It goes to Cameron Butler, and he has stood up maybe a yard on the play. They'll spot it at the 26-yard line. John Chavis and his defense, they struggled to put players on the ground. Look at those missed tackles, and then after catches, Ole Miss receivers averaged almost 10 yards after the reception.
Yeah, Ole Miss went out and rushed for 237 yards in that ball game. And the emphasis was over pursuing the football at times. You can see the continued focus for them today is wrap them up and get them to the ground. Swing
it out to Kinsey. And Marvin out over the 30 to 33-yard line. Scooter Harris, their middle linebacker, making that stop. Led the league in tackles a year ago with 118, trying for his third consecutive year of 100-plus tackles.
This is a big down here. You got an opportunity here on third down. Well, it's 3rd and 2, but you still have an opportunity to throw it or run it. But this is where Colorado State wants to live on third down. Be good on 1st and 2nd down. Give them opportunity on third down to convert.
Has time, and Hill's pass is caught. Warren Jagger say incomplete. Got hit right at impact. Lost the football. Hayden Henry, the animal, some of his teammates refer to him as, making the play.
Ball a little bit behind him, and you can see that ball easily is out. Good job of Henry right on contact. And you see Colin, he was trying to hold him up just a little bit in that zone, not run him into Hayden Henry. But a great job of getting that football out, and 3 and out, Colorado State.
Traylon Burks back to return this punt. End over end line drive. Good kick. Near the sideline, and Burks trying to find a little bit of room. Gets a few yards on that return, but a good 56-yard punt from Ryan Stonehouse. Nick Starkel and company back on the field when we return.
If you're Arkansas, you love the way this game started with your new quarterback, Nick Starkel. Started the game going through a progression, hitting the deep ball down the right sideline. Traylon Burks, what a great job of orchestrating that, getting a little pressure in his face, getting the football out of his hands, not holding on to it, and then putting this big guy, Trey Knox, up to back, and they making it pay off with a big touchdown. What a perfect, ideal drive if you're Nick Starkel in Arkansas. And I believe this is the offense that Chad Morris envisioned when he came to Arkansas, Dave.
I mean, those were dynamite throws. That first one was really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough throw to put kind of on a rope. We call it a 2-ball. Not too much air, but enough air that he can run under it. The touch he had on that one early in the ball game is pretty impressive.
Arkansas will start inside the 20 from the near hash. Pressure comes. Starkel steps up, goes down the middle, has one-on-one coverage, and he was a little bit light with that throw. He was trying to hit Mike Woods.
You can see already, Colorado State's not just going to allow Nick Starkel and his offense to sit back there and throw the football. They came with a 5-man pressure there, and that's one he's going to want back. He had him running right down the middle of the field. Could have been another big play.
Arkansas going rather quick after the incompletion. That one's batted in the air and almost picked off. Trying to hit Chase Harrell across the middle, a little bit behind him, and now it's 3rd down and 10. This is a situation where you can kind of get your defense in a bad spot, too, if you're quickly 3 and out on a hot day.
Absolutely. And again, Colorado State coming with a little pressure off the edge, forcing that ball to come out a little bit more inaccurate. And you mentioned it, Dave, 3rd and long. It's a tough spot to be in, kind of backed up.
Arkansas 33% on 3rd down conversions this year. They struggled with that last year. Bringing some pressure again. Pass is caught. Trey Knox, 1st down at the 35. That is a 17-yard pickup.
Look at the route here. You got what we call a little snag concept. And look how that ball, as soon as he comes out of his break, he snaps his head around, and look at him step into the fire and big-time catch.
They'll go handoff to Rakeem Boyd. He'll pick up 4 off the left side. Rakeem, 181 yards coming into this game on the ground on 35 carries. 17 for 67 last week. Not a great per carry average. They ran him in the wild hog formation a few times. They're trying to get him the football, but just hadn't been a whole lot of room to run. He's got some room here in the midfield. He'll pick up the first down at 11 yards.
And a lot of people think the receivers are the ones who are going to benefit most from Nick Starkel, but no, it's him. Rakeem Boyd. The softer coverage on the outside is going to open up a lot of running rooms.
Little play fake. That pass is tipped at the line, but caught at about the 46-yard line from Devion Warren, the junior out of Monroe, Louisiana, with the catch.
And Dave, something else we're seeing already early in this ball game, which we haven't seen in the first 2 ball games from Arkansas, is this tempo. Look how fast they're going now,
right.
Getting in and out, trying to run more plays, keep this Colorado State defense pretty vanilla.
Whaley checks in at running back for Boyd here on 2nd down. They will hand it to Devlin, and he'll get it to the 42-yard line to pick up a 4. You're looking at a 3rd down and a couple. Whaley's the guy. They're trying to get him his confidence. He's dropped the ball a couple times, put it on the ground. Coach trying to get some confidence in him as well.
That's the number one thing, is to have the confidence to put him in the ball game because he's put the ball on the ground. Well, this is where Coach Morris wants to be on 3rd down. It gives him opportunity here in kind of no man's land. If you don't pick it up, I think they still probably go for it here on 4th down. But you got the run-pass option. If you want it, you can have it.
3rd down, about 1.5 yards. Inside handoff. Whaley with a big gainer. Still on his feet. Breaking tackles, falls out of bounds. Inside the 20, right around the 17-yard line.
Right up in the middle. Look at the tight end come across and just crease that hole. And now you have a huge gap to run through. We talk about defensively how they're being a little bit more soft because of Starkel's ability to throw the football. And think about it, later on in the ball game, he's going to start pulling that out of the gut, and he's going to start throwing it.
1st down and 10. Red zone opportunity on the horizon. They'll go with Whaley. He'll get it inside the 15. Picks up 3 there. Iwan Francis with the tackle in that secondary for Colorado State. They're giving up 32.5 points a game. Of course, their opener against Colorado, they gave up 52. They went FCS opponent last week, Western Illinois. They won that one 38-13. Score really not indicative of how dominating Colorado State was in that contest. Starkel to the end zone, drops. Grayson Gunner, the tight end, hit him right in the numbers.
This is another outstanding throw here. Puts it right in his gut. This is perfectly thrown. All you had to do was bring it in. You got exactly what you wanted. Man coverage on the back end. Tight end running that corner route, just unable to come up with a big play there on 2nd down.
Well, that's another stellar throw from Nick Starkel.
Been impressed with Starkel. He's been really sharp here to start this ball game.
Timeout taken by Arkansas. One of the things that Chad Morris worried about was how much Nick Starkel understood what they're trying to do offensively. So far, it looks pretty solid. Wow, into triple coverage.
I love that
Shy
catch.
making that catch. Tell you what, there's a lot to like about Helinski. 6'3", 230 to start with.
Dave, did you hear that Helinski is wearing the same socks that Garcia wore?
When they beat Alabama back in 2010.
What a catch.
3rd down, here's Starkel. Underneath, wide open, pass is caught. That'll be Chase Harrell to the end zone. 14 yards out. Somebody missed an assignment. Arkansas will take the 6.
And this is what Chad Morris called the timeout. Working inside out. He does a great job here. You got a switch on the outside, and it's just an awesome job of him finding the open receiver.
Connor Limpert with the point after attempt. It is up and good. 2 touchdowns on the board for the Hogs here in the first quarter. Two impressive drives by Nick Starkel have resulted in touchdown passes.
And here's Chase Harrell. He's just going to come here, run a little angle route. You got a shallow cross and you got a dig coming across. And he just reads it. He goes through his progression. He does a great job. Here's the angle route coming back inside. Everything's clogged up going inside. And he goes 1, 2, 3 back out to Chase Harrell for the touchdown. You can see the progression already. This offense is different with Nick Starkel in the ballgame.
Boy, that secondary was like, thought somebody else had Harrell. You got him. No, I got him. No, you got him.
Everybody trying to pass it off. You got to communicate. And that's why I think Coach Morris called timeout to make sure he had the right play call there. And Colorado State got a little lost with all the different route switches that Arkansas was going through at that particular moment.
11 plays, 82 yards, 3.5 minutes off the clock. Arkansas 4 out of 4 on third downs. This is a returnable kick. Christian Hunter. He's hit around the 20-yard line. Chase Harrell with the touchdown catch. More on him. Let's go down to Dawn.
Yeah, guys, Chase Harrell made that transition to tight end last year, and that included putting on 37 pounds of pure muscle. He said he did it to become a more effective blocker, but that weight has not slowed him down. Strength coach Trumaine Carroll pointed out he still has a 34-inch vertical, a 10.6 broad jump. Coach True said he looks like an action figure right now.
Yeah, the converted wide receiver may have found a home there. You know, Cheyenne O'Grady, he's been battling all kinds of stuff trying to get healthy for this season. This week he developed a little strep throat, slowed him down. We haven't seen a whole lot of Mr. O'Grady as of yet. Marvin Kinsey hit at the line of scrimmage. Scooter Harris again clogging up the hole.
It's all about recognition and instincts from Scooter Harris. He recognized what was happening, then he just was shot out of a cannon and met the back right there at the front of the hole. This is just one of the more outstanding linebackers in the entire country, let alone just the SEC.
Over 280 career tackles for Scooter Harris, the senior linebacker out of Harvey, Louisiana. Second down and 10. He'll stay on the ground with Kinsey. Broke free for 75 yards on the second play of the game for the Rams touchdown.
And Dave, you talked about last series how Arkansas had to convert on third down for their defense. This is big for Colorado State. They got to put together a couple first downs to give their defense a little rest.
Dante Wright, the true freshman, in motion. They'll go to the outside. Pass is incomplete. Trying to hit E.J. Scott with it. Coverage from Monteric Busta Brown.
Playing a little press coverage on the outside. Does a great job of not getting overly aggressive. And right there for the throw, just an outside, would have been a really tough catch for E.J. Scott to come down with. But give a lot of credit to Monteric Brown on the coverage there.
Colorado State will have to punt it away with Ryan Stonehouse, who had a 56-yarder his first time, the second-team All-American a year ago. His career average, over 47 yards per punt, best in school history. Straightaway punt this time, and you can see why. This is another boomer. Burks will take the fair catch at the 25, a 51-yard punt. Nick Starkel 2 for 2 to start this one.
NFL Prime Time is back on Sunday nights, airing exclusively on ESPN Plus at 7:30 p.m. Eastern all season long.
Oh, Boomer and Tom back. That was my favorite show for so many years.
Man.
You know, that's all about the highlights right there.
And that's what it's about. People want to see the highlights, not too much of the talking. But that's pretty cool right there. I'm all down for that.
ESPN Plus coming up. Boomer and Tom Jackson back together. Tell you what, Nick Starkel, he has had 2 drives. They've resulted in touchdowns, 6 of 9, over 100 yards, and has looked very sharp today. We'll throw it again here on first down. That one is batted in the air, looking for Harrell again on the outside. Marshawn Cameron deflects that.
Yeah, he's coming right off the edge, a little nickel blitz off the edge, and Starkle has time to see it. Trying to get rid of the football. Marshawn Cameron did a good job of disguising it, coming a little bit late.
Coach is telling us that Nick's probably got about 25 to 30% of the playbook. Pressure comes. They go up top. Man coverage out there, and there is a flag coming in. Colorado State bench. Arms up in the air. They didn't like it. Trey Knox, defended by Andre Neal.
Well, this is something you expect to see all day. Whenever you get one-on-one coverage on the outside, and you see them both battling, a little ticky-tack on the outside, but anytime he puts those hands on him and
Pass
fights with him.
Number 11 defense. The penalty is a first down at the spot of foul.
You're going to get those type of calls, but this is what I call an alert for a quarterback. Whenever you get press man coverage, safety's in the middle of the field, expect one-on-one with those big receivers he has on the outside. He's going to put them up to bat every single time and see if they can make a play. We've seen it already happen for a touchdown early in the ball game. So any chance they get, they want to take those shots.
Rakeem Boyd, huge hole up the middle. It's a foot race. Rakeem Boyd to the end zone. Touchdown, 59 yards.
And Dave, I just talked about when you throw the football down the field, it forces you to play a too high look. And what a great job right there by number 66, Ty Clary, the center. Giving the hole, opening up, getting up to that second level. And this is what Chad Boyd wanted to see out of Rakeem Boyd. Break the tackle, get middle of the field, and just go. Even though he was untouched on that one, Rakeem Boyd says, I can take it a distance too.
Point after is good, but a flag is down. Mark Curls, our referee today, will figure out what the issue was. Rakeem Boyd.
Holding number 68 offense. Penalties 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay the try.
So they'll send out the point after team one more time, but Rakeem Boyd saw a little seam, and from there it was nothing but goal lines and headlines for number 5.
Goodness, he came into this game averaging 5.2 yards a carry. I think that average is going to go up after that run. Some happy Arkansas fans there, but Rakeem Boyd, that's the speed that you expect out of him and the ability he has given a big hole he had there.
Basically a 30-yard point after attempt on the way from Connor Limpert. And makes it look easy. So it is 21-7. Arkansas out in front here in the first quarter. And while we have a break in the action, let's throw it to Laura Rutledge and our friends at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Hey, have you seen Marty?
Where is Marty? What is Marty doing right now? Tell you what, that guy's not worried about where Marty is. Chad Morris is excited about his offense, and this is what he wants it to look like. And he's been waiting for this. And I know it's early in the first quarter, but this is what he wanted to see. Sideline to sideline, and then gash you up the middle in the run game.
Versus Portland State, you put up 20 points. Versus Ole Miss last week, you only put up 17. Today versus Colorado State, you have 21 points in the first quarter, and we still have 5:59 to go in the first quarter. I think he's happy about the offensive output so far.
And that'll be a touchback for the Rams out to the 25-yard line. Hey, coming up at 7:30 at 6:30 Central, of course, Week 3 of the college football season rolls on with number 4 LSU and Northwestern State. It's our SEC Saturday night matchup. The SEC Network alternate channel will have Southeast Missouri State at Missouri. To find the SEC Network alternate channel in your area, be sure to go to secnetwork.com. Joe Burrow off to a great start. 82% through the air for Joe Burrow this year. Colin Hill and this Colorado State offense, a couple of plays, put 7 on the board. Since then, they have run 6 plays for a total of 13 yards. Back-to-back 3-and-outs for the Rams. McElroy in the game at running back. He's coming near side. He'll pick up 7 yards. Run out of bounds by Jarquez McClellan. This Ram offense, they can certainly move it down the field. Arkansas has done a nice job keeping things in front of them here on their last 2 possessions.
And that's the key, Dave, not allowing those big plays. And Colorado State comes in here wanting to throw the football deep, wanting to create some big plays. Arkansas playing more coverage here in the last 2 series.
They'll hand it off to McElroy. There's a big hole. Arkansas couldn't keep him in front of them. And that'll be a big run inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line. Cam Curl runs him out of bounds, but 34 yards.
And another crease right there. Hayden Henry on the out edge right there. Number 27 loses containment. And that's one of those spots where you talk about defensively doing your job. And if you don't do your job, big plays like that happen. And how about Marcus McElroy coming here and giving this Colorado State offense a little spark?
And Kinsey back in the game now, their starter at tailback, the senior out of Atlanta, Georgia. Quick throw. They finally get it to Dante Wright, the outstanding true freshman from Navarre, Florida. Already 4 touchdowns in 2 games for the youngster, 5'10", 165 pounds. A do-it-all player, and I mean do-it-all. In high school, he played offense, defense, kicked some field goals and extra points, ran a 10-7 100-meter dash. He had a 75-yard touchdown opening play last week. I mean, this kid has burst onto the scene. Hand off to Kinsey. To the 15, cuts it back, down to the 10. Boy, their dynamic duo of Kinsey and Wright are going to be dangerous. Look at what they did the first 2 games versus the rest of the team.
And they're both downhill physical runners. We saw both have some speed to hit the edge. And once again, Arkansas losing containment on the outside. There's no reason why that football should have got outside of the corner. With the speed of Kinsey, gets him to the edge, and they've done it all on the ground on this drive.
Kinsey with 99 yards on 4 carries. He's out of the game. Jalen Thomas, true freshman, at running back. And there is a whistle and flags are down.
Yeah, Adam Prentice. A little bit early there.
Before the snap, ball start, number 85 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And you see right on the right side of your screen, a little edge, look, comes out the ball a little bit sooner than the ball is snapped. And something you don't want to do when you got good momentum going on this drive is get a false start penalty that puts you back behind the chains. But I'm sure Colin Hill don't mind having a little extra room to throw the football.
Kinsey back in the game to the left of Colin Hill. The fake it to Kinsey, slant over the middle, caught, touchdown. That goes to Warren Jackson, and just like that, the Rams march it down the field. The redshirt sophomore out of Powder Springs, Georgia, with his 2nd touchdown catch of the year.
Now you see Cameron Curl, number 2, steps up with the play action and comes right behind is the skinny post. This is a great job of beating him inside. He opens his hips to him, and that's just hard right there. You got no other help on the inside because Cameron Curl came up on the play action. Big-time receiver for Colorado State, paying dividends here in the red zone.
They got some guys now that can catch the football for you. Wright, Jackson, E.J. Scott.
Yeah, Jackson's only 6'6" out there. He's a big dude.
Of course, Mike Bobo coming back to coach against SEC competition. A longtime quarterback, played for his father George over at Thomasville High School, where he was the 1992 USA Today Georgia High School Player of the Year. Took his talents to Athens, where he's a 4-year letterman. team captain in 96 and 97, MVP of the 1998 Outback Bowl. And from there, was on the staff at Georgia for 16 years, including an 8-year stint as the Dogs offensive coordinator from 07 to 14. Great to visit with him. Spent a lot of time around him back in his days in Athens, and had some health issues, some very serious health issues a year ago. And seems to be doing better, but says, he had some issues with nerves in his feet and his hands, and he says it hasn't all come back yet, but he is on some medication, and he's just feeling physically better, but not everything is back to 100%, but it's great to see him on the sidelines.
Great energy talking to him. He definitely was excited.
Devion Warren bringing it out of the end zone. Warren bouncing off a couple of guys out to the 36-yard line. Nice return by Warren. Now, there is a definite connection between our two guys today. Mike Bobo, of course, the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. There he is with Chad Morris when Chad was with Clemson as the OC. But he was, most importantly, the quarterback coach for DJ Shockley. It was right before he got the OC job. Actually, your performance gave him that opportunity. There he is right there. How about that?
I don't know where you guys got that that picture there. I was almost 170 pounds right there, looking real
I think
slim.
Coach Bobo was about 170 as well. Obviously you have a unique perspective of this. I mean, you played for him. You understand what it's like to be a quarterback for him. And take me into the meeting room and the huddles, practice fields. What's it like?
Well,
number 51, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
One thing I know about Coach,
the game clock to 3:19.
You know about Coach Bobo, he demands a lot from the quarterback position. He doesn't expect you just to go out there and kind of just take the reins by your own. He wants you to control the entire team. He wants you to be vocal, but he expects a lot out of not just his quarterback, but everybody on that football team. And that's why his teams are so well coached. They get after you. He's a really smart coach that, I tell you, he did a lot for me in my game and made me into the player I was when I was at Georgia.
Got you to the National Football League. Morris making the catch. Now, one thing we noticed yesterday, that Mike Bobo on his iPad still has his notes from when you were playing in the spring game before your final year. These are some of the notes he took down, but he talked about your ability to throw the ball, the control you had over the team. But here's one thing that he didn't like. Stayed in the pocket too long, almost a willingness to not step up and run.
I didn't want to run. I wanted to throw the rock. I mean, a lot of people say this guy's a dual threat guy. I wanted to stand in there and throw the rock. He would literally, we would watch film, and they had a hole just like we did with Rakeem Boyd, where the hole was so big. He would say, "Hey, I want you to step up and run the football," and I would just say no.
One of the things that we heard from the players, we're talking to them yesterday, Colin Hill included in that conversation, we asked him about playing for Mike Bobo.
Right.
And there's the guy we see. We laugh around in the meetings and stuff, but there's the other side to him too, when the competitive side.
He's extremely intense. I mean, I think I'm understating it a little bit, but when you get into a ball game, he is all about the ball game. He wants you to play at an exceptional level. He expects a lot out of you, and he's good while we're talking in the meeting room, but once you get in between those lines and those numbers, he expects so much more out of you than people think.
Here's Whaley. He has the edge. Another foot race down the sideline. This time he's run out of bounds around the 35. That'll be another 25-yard pickup. Big chunks of yardage coming from this Arkansas offense today.
We talk about both teams losing containment on the edge, but this is a counter. Look at the big lineman out in front of him, creating that lane for him to get on the outside. That's a great job by those guys getting out and running. Ricky Stromberg, a freshman, getting out there running.
Whaley will get a couple of yards. You know, speaking of Ricky Stromberg, the true freshman, a little light in the seat, as they coach say. He's about 270. He's put on some weight, but we were watching tape yesterday, and he really stood out to us.
Oh, yeah.
A very quick-footed, tremendous athlete on that line of scrimmage.
And the one thing they talk about is how athletic he is. He's the one guy you're going to see pulling around. He's going to be on the perimeter a lot. But give this Arkansas offensive line a lot of credit. They created some huge lanes to run through for Whaley and Boyd today.
2nd down and 7. Here's Starkle. Steps up, fires, tight spiral, end zone, and that one is incomplete, and there are no flags. He was trying to hit Warren. Let's go down to Dawn.
Hey, Dave, DJ, you guys talking about Ricky Stromberg. The coaching staff actually said with that number, he looks like a lighter Yilda Froholm. That's a guy who was a 4th-round pick for the Pats. He's playing on Sundays. He was big for this Arkansas team.
Boy, Chad Morris showing a little fire in the belly. He thought that was pass interference. Instead, you're looking at 3rd and 7. Minute 55 to go here in the opening quarter, and we have seen a ton of offense. 168 for the Rams, 253 for the Hogs.
That man coverage all across the board.
Pressure comes. Starkel is dropped back at the 37 on 3rd down. Jan Philip Bombeck gets in there for the sack, a loss of 5.
And what you like here is they've made a little switch on the defense. Look on the back end. Now they have a safety over the top with this man coverage, which allows these guys to have a little help, but now Starkel has to hold on to the football just a second longer because earlier in the game they went man free. And you see Jan Philip Bombeck coming in with the sack. But the switch in the game plan, defensive coordinator John Jansick right there, putting extra help for those defensive backs. So Starkel doesn't have the time to throw that football.
All right, here we go with a 54-yard field goal attempt. He hit from 55 last year against Vanderbilt. Good clean snap for Limpert. Strong leg, kick on the way. It is good. A no-doubter from Connor Limpert.
That probably had another 10 yards in it. That was a poke there by Limpert.
Couple of 50-yarders last year, and hits another from deep down. That is definitely a 3-pointer in a lot of ways.
Look at this thing. This thing is striped. That's headed into the tunnel right here. What a kick by Limpert there.
Wow. Impressive stuff. Young man, a senior out of Allen, Texas, hitting at an 81% rate, which is the best number in Arkansas football history if he can stay in that territory.
But I think the confidence they're having on offense has permeated all the way through the kicking game. Everybody has taken their game up to a new level in this first quarter.
Another touchback. That'll give us an opportunity to talk to you about Saturdays in the South, which is our 8-part documentary that chronicles the history of SEC football. We celebrate 150 years of college football here on ESPN. Tuesday night, Eastern Time, 8 Central. Part 3 explores the civil rights movement of the 60s. Bear Archie, Richmond Flowers Jr., George Wallace. You can only see Saturdays in the South right here on the SEC Network and, of course, on the ESPN app. Colorado State will have it at the 25. 1:02 to go here in the first quarter. This is a different looking Arkansas team than through and through what we saw in week 1. Can they stop this Ram offense? Having a tough time stopping this guy as Marvin Kinsey makes something out of nothing. They will spot him around the 31-yard line. Scooter Harris with that tackle, but there's their drive chart. 75-yard touchdown and a couple of big plays on that last possession as they were able to get it into the end zone on the touchdown catch. Kinsey, 5 carries, 105 yards.
And you see Cameron Curl tried to walk down into the box there. Colin Hill got out of it.
Kinsey should have enough for the first down as he powers his way out over the 35-yard.
You can see the little cat and mouse game going by Mike Bobo and John Chavis, defensive coordinator for Arkansas. Arkansas was trying to bring another guy in the boxes to help with the run. And Colin Hill changes the play, go to the other side. Picks up a good first down.
Well, that'll be it for the first 15 minutes. I would say there were some fireworks there. 179 yards for Colorado State. They got off to a good start on the 75-yard touchdown runs. But Arkansas also feeling it offensively. They lead it by 10 after one quarter. Well, of course, Alabama sitting there at number 2, Georgia at number 3, LSU with a great win last week. They're up to number 4. 5 teams in the top 9.
That run was just dumb.
Oh, loose football on the turf. I think that was Busta Brown coming up with a loose football. Boy, Mike Bobo told us yesterday, point number 1, we have to protect the football. Turnovers have been a killer for them.
Yeah, this is just unfortunate for Colorado State and Kinsey. But this defense coming in said they have a goal of getting 3 turnovers a game. Well, there goes number 1, and now you got it in plus territory. Always a spot here. You see John Chavis there, Lord. He didn't show his excitement, but I know he's excited. The Chief is...
He's never excited.
He's very reserved.
The only time he's excited is when we come to town. He gets to visit with us. That's the only time.
Hey, but look out here. After turnover, usually there's some type of shot play throwing the football down the field.
Quick change opportunity here for the Razorbacks. At the 38-yard line. Boyd in the backfield. He'll get the handoff. Down to the 34. Rakeem Boyd. 6 carries, 85 yards, averaging 14.2 yards a carry.
And we've just seen the impact of Starkel's ability to throw the football just in that first quarter. Opened up huge lanes to run the football. And Rakeem Boyd, I'm sure, is probably most excited to have Starkel back there with him because he's going to be able to run through some massive lanes.
Boyd. Down to the 29. He'll be about a yard shy of the first down. 114 yards against Portland State. 3 100-yard games in his career, chasing number 4. And what a difference a week makes. Transferred here a year ago from Independence Community College. Boyd thought he had a bigger gain than that, but he will have the first down.
Yeah, Dave, he doesn't trip. He probably hits his head on the goalpost, and it's another big run for Rakeem Boyd. That's why he was jumping around, because he knows it. He saw one.
He just looked up at the big board here. Dang.
Gotta have my second one. This just feels like it's time for Starkel to take a big throw here after 3 runs. Colorado State got to be on notice.
4-man rush. Starkel, pressure comes from the backside, but he'll loft it up toward the end zone. There are no flags. Looking for Trey Knox.
And immediately after he threw this football, Starkel was yelling at Knox why did he slow down? And he thinks he's on the backside, but I think he has to understand he has a different quarterback in this game now that will let it go from anywhere. You see him yelling at Knox there, keep going, I will let it go.
Arkansas 5 out of 6 on 3rd downs today. Nice run from Chase Hayden, his first action today. 15-yard pickup.
And just a nice job right there on the edge is Dalton Wagner. He just sealed that right side down and nobody was outside when Chase Hayden hit the corner.
First down and 10. Hayden falls inside the 10. Give him a couple of yards. Jamal Hicks, talented free safety, making the stop. 3rd on the team last year with 93 stops for the senior out of Gardena, California. Well, we've seen all 3 of these running backs now. And Hayden, Boyd, and Whaley.
You talk about the safety creeping there making plays. They got to be careful not to creep in there. And here comes the receivers right behind him.
To the end zone, just out of the reach of tight end Cheyenne O'Grady. First time they've targeted the big tight end. 6'4", 255. He's been slowed this week, got a little sick. Hadn't been able to practice much. Got on the field last week, missed the opener.
Okay, you can't underestimate this guy because he is a playmaker for him. And he's a guy who just off the field hasn't always gotten it together for him, but on the field he is a matchup problem. Would have loved to see Starkle put a little bit more air onto that one for Cheyenne O'Grady.
It's a 3rd down and 8. Quick throw. Hayden makes the catch inside the 5. He's hit right around the 4-yard line. They'll be shy of the line to gain. It'll be 4th down and a couple. Rakeem Boyd running on to the field. So they'll bring the field goal unit on. It looked like Boyd was jogging in.
I was thinking the same thing. I saw Rakeem Boyd. I said, you think he's thinking twice about it, but any points right now are good. And I think he's excited just to get some kind of points here after a nice drive. You got to make that turnover count.
Limpert hit from 54 his last time out on the field. This from 22. It is up and it's good. Chad Morris in this Arkansas offense with 27 points on the board. Extra Yard for Teachers Week is an annual celebration led by the College Football Playoff Foundation that honors great teachers across the country. To learn more about Extra Yard for Teachers, follow at CFP Extra Yard or search the hashtag Extra Yard Week. There's a guy that is teaching football right now here at Arkansas and life lessons as well, but his first start was as a math teacher and an assistant football coach after he graduated from Texas A&M with a degree in math and a minor in statistics. Took that to the high school level where he became a legend with 3 state championships in the state of Texas. We were talking to him yesterday, and boy, he just kind of lit up thinking about those days as a teacher and a coach in the state of Texas. Landed his first job at Class 3A Eustis High School in Texas as a math teacher and assistant coach in basketball, football, and baseball. Said he made just about $21,000 a year. Went on to have a 16-year prep head coaching career that included those 3 state titles. Went to Tulsa, by the way, in 2010 as offensive coordinator, then Clemson as offensive coordinator, SMU as a head coach. But he really wanted us to know that the guy, Jack Shelnut, who was then a math teacher and an assistant coach at Edgewood High School, who really helped ignite him and his passion for teaching and coaching. Said the guy was hard on him, intense, but boy, as life has gone on, he's really come to appreciate what Coach Shelnut meant to him.
And then when he went into teaching and coaching of his own, he said, I was exactly like him.
Hill's pass is caught, not much there, as Adam Prentice, the fullback, makes that play. For more on Coach Morris, let's go down to Dawn.
Guys, my favorite Chad Morris story from his teaching days, because I asked him if he was like a tough, strict teacher. He said early on, walked in with his briefcase, he had his syllabus, he was all in, he was serious, going over his syllabus the first day of class. He said there was a kid sleeping already on his desk. Coach Morris took his geometry book, slammed it down on the desk besides the kid to wake him up, said he never had any trouble with a kid sleeping in his class ever again.
Yeah, that young man went on to become a coach as well.
Yep.
He followed the path of Coach Morris. For the Rams. Pressure comes. Hill hit and dropped back at the 16.
Third and long. Here's the aggressive style that John Taylor plays with. Pressure off the edge, pressure up the middle, a little stunt from the inside. And a great job of Grant Morgan getting home to the quarterback. But there was really nowhere for Colin Hill to go with the football. Had to hold on to it. And Arkansas is getting off the field.
The junior out of Greenwood, Arkansas. His first sack of the year came at a good time for the Hogs. Ooh, did that hit Burks? I believe it did, but he got some help on the back end as that one is recovered by Arkansas. Nathan Perotti there to help out his teammate.
Nice job of Nathan there being heads up. Burke's not sure if he wanted to come get it, but could have been a turnover for Arkansas, but instead they got a nice field position here for the ball.
Well, Nick Starkel making the hog walk for his first start today. And DJ, he has really shown us some outstanding throws.
Yeah, he's showing you exactly why they're excited that he came to Arkansas to throw the football around and be a leader for this team. He has turned this offense and made it look totally different here in week 3.
Giant O'Grady with the reception.
We talked about his ability to throw the football outside the numbers, outside the hashes, to force the defense to cover the entire field. And he's been pretty accurate with it. You see the first time they get him out on the edge, he's forcing his defense to really cover every aspect of it.
Ooh, loose football. It's on the turf, and the Rams will have it. That'll give him outstanding field position, as it looked like Starkel never got the ball in the belly of Rakeem Boyd.
The number one thing you work on from day one is the mesh point between the quarterback and the running back. You see the ball's a little bit high on Rakeem Boyd, right up above those shoulder pads. And that's going to be something you look at. Look, the ball never really got into the gut of Rakeem Boyd, and Cameron Carter right there making a play on it. But the mesh point is what's most important between a quarterback and running back in those situations.
So each team with a fumble, and now Colorado State has excellent field position at the 40-yard line. Colin Hill today, 5 of 8, 30 yards, 1 touchdown. Hits the fullback, Adam Prentice. Pick up a 4, big collision on that sideline. Mike Bobo, some of that Mark Richt offense where they still use that fullback.
Oh, yeah. And something we don't see much in college football these days is the fullback. But they use that fullback, Adam Prentice, a lot in this offense to set up the run, to set up the pass, to play action. He's very multiple on offense and gives the defense a lot to think about when trying to prepare for him.
So from the 36, it'll be 2nd down and 6. Here's pressure. Hill's going to have to get rid of it. He does. He lofts it up, has a man. It's incomplete. Backpedaling was Trey McBride, and flags come in. 3 of them, as a matter of fact. Joe Fouché back there in coverage for the Hogs.
Little trickery there for Colorado State, trying to sneak the tight end back outside that right side, and Fouché never looks back.
Number 7, defense. Penalties 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
For a defensive back, he never looks back, and you see the early contact. He's trying to fight through it to get his hands up, but he fights through and makes a little bit more contact with the receiver than you want. Fouché, a veteran guy, sophomore from New Orleans, Louisiana. Plays a lot of football for Arkansas the past couple years. He'll do a better job of getting his head turned around.
1st down and 10 now for the Rams. So work off that far hash from the 21-yard line. Kinsey in the backfield alongside Colin Hill. Hill has time. This time throws over the middle. Incomplete. Trying to hit Warren Jackson, the 6'6 junior. Defended there by Busta Brown.
Got almost MAC protection here, trying to hold up, and you get what you want. You get Dante Wright taking 2 away, and that ball's just slightly behind Warren Jackson there. But this is a ball that I think they would expect him to come up with, but a great play right there on Tay Brown. He get that hand in there right at the end and knock it away.
2nd down, and Colin Hill will go under center. Seeing Colorado State huddle a lot more today. This is a team that went no huddle for so long. Trying to slow the game down a bit. In motion is Dante Wright, but they'll hand it off It'll go to Jalen Thomas, and nothing doing there. A gain of maybe a yard before he is thrown to the turf. TJ Smith.
Yeah,
game in there.
You spot on with that. 52, TJ Smith, right in the middle right there. Got no movement by him. He shedded the block and got off, but brings up a big third down in here. How comfortable are you with your veteran quarterback in Colin Hill? You got possibly 3 points on the board, but how comfortable are you throwing the football here, giving him opportunity to make a play?
Kinsey back in the game. Clean pocket. Fires over the middle. Pass is caught by Jackson. He's down to the 1 yard line. Well, you wondered if they would let Hill make the play, and he did.
And what helps is he had time. He had time to sit back in the pocket, survey the field, and allow Warren to work. And here's the hurry up trying to catch Arkansas off balance.
Quarterback sneak by Hill. Does he have enough in that 6'5" frame to get in? No signal yet. There it is. Touchdown, Colorado State.
Does he get in there? All you need is a little bit of push, and you said it, Dave. He's 6'5", but I think he was laying on top of another defender and then rolls over in the end zone, so he was still up. And by the time the ref gets there, he got to have his body in the end zone.
They convert the third down to Warren Jackson and then set up the 1 yard touchdown from Colin Hill.
You can see here as he's leaning.
Right, he's on one of his O-linemen.
He's on the top of one of his O-linemen, and Kinsey comes in there and finishes off his quarterback to get him in the end zone.
Point after is up and good by Caden Camper. They've had some kicking issues. Caden didn't even realize he was coming on this trip until a few days ago. Now he's kicking here at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. It's a shootout in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Hey, Monday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central, Thinking Out Loud, presented by Regions Bank, is back for another season with Greg McElroy, Marcus Spears. They'll break down the weekend on the gridiron, talk about the hottest topics for the coming week. It's all right here on the SEC Network, and of course you can always find it on the ESPN app. 7 o'clock Eastern time, Thinking Out Loud. I try not to do that. That gets me in trouble. That's not a show for me. I've determined that.
It does not get them in trouble at all.
We got ourselves a 27-21 game and still a lot of time left here in the first half. 7:31 on the clock. It has been a shootout. 489 yards of offense. Well, of course, a lot of folks still affected by the remnants of Hurricane Dorian, and if you want to help, here's an opportunity. Your donation will support Red Cross preparation, response, and recovery efforts in the United States and, of course, the Bahamas. Be sure to go to www.redcross.org/ESPN, or you can always call 1-800-RED-CROSS to donate now. Those pictures.
Yeah, those pictures
tell a bad story.
Man, it's really tough.
Story here has been Nick Starkel in his first start with the Razorbacks. Lost that one up in the air. He was looking for Trey Knox. Coverage from Owens on the outside. Second down and 10 coming up.
It's one of those things we've seen throughout this ball game. Starkel's not afraid to put his guys up to bat and make a play, but a nice job on the outside of Owens fighting through the hands of Knox trying to make that play.
After a hot start, things have somewhat slowed down for Nick in the past game. And boy, Boyd had some big holes early on, and there was some white jerseys swarming to the football to stop Rakeem Boyd. That'll be a loss of 2.
You can see Ellison Hubbard, number 98 right there, is the leader of that defense up front. He's a creator of havoc and unable. He's a tough guy to block on the inside. I had a chance to talk to him yesterday, and he just said the offseason for this team was totally different from what they were used to last year, and they have a newfound hope, and they're trying to show it today.
Third down, pressure comes. Starkel dodges one man, gets the pass off to Hayden, who is tackled around the 33-yard line. So this is a punting situation coming up for Arkansas. Jan Philip Bombeck there to make the play, and this will be the first time Arkansas has had to punt this afternoon.
And you always think about when a defense has some type of momentum or something go their way and things start to turn, things start to slow down for them. And that was a great defensive set there for Colorado State. A little pressure on Starkle there on 2 different throws. Stopped the run on 2nd down.
Dante Wright back to return this punt. Fair catch called for, and the freshman able to hold on to it, a 41-yard punt. Question is, how's Ben Hicks going to handle this? Got the start first 2 times, and of course started for a couple of years with Chad Morris at SMU, set school records in this offense. Things did not go well the first couple of games. The numbers kind of bear that out. Just for whatever reason, it didn't click. And DJ, as a quarterback that's played in this at this level, how hard is it for Ben Hicks right now?
Oh, it's really tough. I mean, I think the number one thing that makes it tough for him is this is his senior year. This is his last opportunity to play at this level. And he came here thinking, hey, I will take this team and take him to new heights. And after 2 games, he's not the guy. Seen some success from Nick Starkle here. It's going to be interesting to see how he responds and how he acts throughout this ball game and communicates with Nick Starkle going forward.
Right in motion, they'll hand it to him. Boy, look at him move. He gets popped, the little guy. Gain of 4. Let's go down to Dawn.
Well, guys, I can tell you how he's responding so far in this game. He's actually staying up near the field, kind of near the coaches, and watching all of the action. When the offense is on the sidelines, he still stays in that position. But Nick Starkle isn't exactly sitting down and talking to anybody on the sideline. He's got a lot of energy, so he's up and down that sideline talking to his offensive line and his wide receivers. So he's not sitting still, but Ben Hicks is staying close to the field near his coaches.
In this league, in this day and age, you better be ready as a backup. Kinsey run out of bounds after a couple of yards.
And Dave, you bring up being ready. I mean, yeah, you lost your job, but the unfortunate part about it is you're only 1 play away. And if something happens to Nick Starkle, he has to be mentally ready to go. And we know he has the physical tools, but mentally he has to be ready to go.
That's a great point. Nick Starkle told us in that first week, Dawn hit it at the top of the telecast today, about Nick wasn't mentally ready in that opening game, threw a pick.
Yep.
He had a lot going on in his life that week, and he admitted it. But he said, coming into this one, I'm ready.
Yeah. Coach Morris told him, this is your opportunity. You got to go seize it.
3rd down. Hill had a man wide open. That was right. Found a little seam, but they just couldn't hook up.
Collins going to want this ball back. They only rushed 4 on the back end, and Arkansas kind of just lets him go. Safety in the middle of the field, reading the eyes, but he just lets him go. And if Hill can find him and deliver the football accurately, that's a huge play on 3rd down for Colorado State. But I think because Collins been hit a couple times, his feet were a little happy and a little excited there to get rid of that football.
Stonehouse, wobbly kick. Burks will field on the run and hit immediately at the 30-yard line, but the Hogs will have it. 4:41 on the clock after a 40-yard punt. Ben Hicks, boy, what numbers he put up at SMU. Now he's just a spectator. Thanks, boys. We'll see you here in a little bit. 4:41 on the clock here before halftime. Arkansas has it, 30-yard line. They lead it by 6 over the Rams of Colorado State. They will swing it out to Mike Woods. Mike Woods will pick up 4. Hit by DeQuan Jackson. Nice defense from the Rams.
Dave, how about Chiz and Doring? They don't have on the same suit this week, huh?
Guess somebody's phone was broken.
They weren't able to communicate with each other about who's wearing the same suit this week.
Whaley hits the hole hard. Takes it to the 41. That'll be a first down after the 7-yard pickup. You know, Coach Chiz said something before the game today. You know, what would you say? I think the question Peter Burns said, what's your message to a team before they walk out? And he said, just do your job.
Yeah.
I mean, simple as that, right? Just do your job.
And that's kind of the quote they said to Starkel as well. Don't try to come in here and try to do too much. Don't try to change all these different plays. Just go play within our system, and everything will be fine.
Boy, good protection. Has time to throw it down the field, just out of the reach of Traylon Burks. Traylon had a step.
And the reason you're able to hit plays like this is because of the protection. Look inside. They bring pressure from both sides, and they pick up the blitz really well. But watch on the outside. I thought he got pulled just a little bit right here. He got held up just for a half a second. And that extra half a second was that extra step he might have needed for a big play down there. It could have been a touchdown.
Well, he took a shot down the field, couldn't convert, so now 2nd and 10. Inside handoff. Whaley can't break the tackle of Jamal Hicks. You see why there are some NFL scouts watching old number 7 play from that safety spot.
Yeah, one guy they're so excited about. They talk about his versatility on the back end. One of their leaders on defense, and what an open field tackle there. But because you weren't successful on 1st and 2nd down, you got a 3rd and long here. Starkler's throwing the football well in the first half. See if he can convert here, keep this drive going, and try to get points head into halftime.
Arkansas 5 of 8 on 3rd downs. This will be 3rd and 7. Rams will bring 4. Starkel. Boy, that's the 3rd time he's had a pass batted today. Jalen Bates gets his big paw up the defensive end.
Jalen Bates coming off that right edge. They go a little ET stunt in and tackle, switch spots. And he can't get all the way to the quarterback. So at the last possible moment, he puts that big 6'3 frame, 6'4", 245 frame up and gets a piece of that football.
That's the 5th PBU by Colorado State this afternoon. Good high, tight spiral. Right lets it hit, and it sails into the end zone for the touchback. Coming up at 7:30, Week 3 of the college football season rolls on with number 4 LSU at Northwestern State. It's our SEC Saturday night matchup. Over on the SEC Network alternate channel, you'll see Southeast Missouri State at Missouri. You can find that SEC Network alternate channel in your area. Be sure to go to secnetwork.com. Joe Burrow, 82% completion rate. Leads the FBS with 9 touchdown passes, only 1 pick. How about his last 6 games going back to last year, averaging 320 yards through the air, 19 TDs, and only 2 interceptions. You think he's feeling it right now?
Yeah, that's getting it done. I'm excited about Burrow. I'm excited what he's done this year. Joe Brady's came over from New Orleans Saints, and he's rejuvenated that LSU offense.
Here's Kinsey. Makes a man miss. Big gainer out of bounds. See where they spot him, out over the 40 to the 41. A 21-yard pickup for Kinsey, who's adding to his total. He has 136 yards on the ground here in the first half on 9 carries.
Yeah, that's getting it done. I mean, there have been tons of quick scores in this ball game. The longest drive of this game has been 3 minutes and 34 seconds. A little bit over 2 minutes to go before halftime. Colorado State got a big, nice play here on first down.
Kinsey again, stutter steps. He'll manage to find 5, maybe 6 when it's all said and done. Zach Williams, the true freshman at a Little Rock, making the stop defensively. For John Chavis, it's got to be a frustrating afternoon. You've had a couple of nice possessions, but you're still giving up chunks of yardage on a few plays here and there.
And that's what's going to really sting is you're going to go back and watch the film and see some guys still doing things that hurt them in the game last week. Losing containment, overrunning plays, and those type of things create the big plays which have created those today. Guys got to do their job. We mentioned it earlier.
Nickel package for Arkansas on 2nd down and 5. We'll toss it to Kinsey. He has the line to gain. That'll be a first down. 1:23 to go before halftime. Colorado State with a couple of timeouts. Arkansas has 2 timeouts as well. Boy, but Kinsey, we're seeing why Coach smiles when he talks about Kinsey's ability on the field. Hit him second play of the game for 75 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, he's got some unbelievable ability, and Arkansas needs to find a way to slow this Colorado State offense down right now because they're moving at a pace they like.
McElroy in the game. They'll swing it to him near side. He splits a couple of defenders, gets it to the 40. That's a 6-yard pickup. Clock under a minute now.
And McElroy is the guy who came in when this offense was sputtering a little bit. Had a spark for him, and you see he comes back in. That duo has been really, really special for him today. Looks like Colorado State takes a timeout.
Well, that was a late timeout. They lost about 13 seconds before they got that timeout.
And we just talked about Kinsey playing at a high level today. First play of the ball game, finding the crease and going 75 yards. This is what motivates this kid here. Talk about some of the things that Coach Bobo mentioned off the field that has kind of prohibited him, but today on the field has shown a true talent. He has speed, he has athleticism, he can get outside, and he can make guys miss in space. And that's Suchet, one of the top guys in Arkansas' defense, making miss. Kinsey has been a dynamic player for him today, and you see the total yardage for him. If he continues that in the second half, they're going to continue to stay in this ball game. With the arm strength for Colin Hill, Kinsey is a weapon, not only in the run game, but in the pass game.
You know, you got him doing that, and you got on the other side, you've got a super talented freshman, Dante Wright, who came in and was 125 yards receiving, 125 yards averaging, 125 yards rushing. Those 2 guys are definite big weapons for Colin Hill in this offense. That'll be incomplete as they tried to hit E.J. Scott. Well, I tell you, Dante Wright, they've done a nice job of kind of keeping him at bay. Just a couple of targets today, 1 catch for just 6 yards.
Yeah, he came into this game leading all freshmen and all-purpose yards a game. But you can see the emphasis for Arkansas to make sure they know where he is.
He leads all freshmen in Division I in all-purpose yards. I don't even know if that pass was intended for Warren Jackson, but that 6'6" frame went up and just grabbed him.
Yeah, he stole that one from Dante. He's going to have to take him out to dinner or something. But this is, yeah, he was throwing the corner out, and you mentioned 6'6" right there. The Billy go up and get the football.
Swing it to the tight end on the outside. Trey McBride, he gets out of bounds to stop it at 21 seconds to go. That's a 4-yard pickup.
For Colorado State and Colin Hill, everything is still at your disposal. You know, you got 21 seconds, but you still have a timeout on the board. And you see Coach Bobo there telling them to be smart. We have a field goal in our pocket if we need it. Make sure you do everything possible to make sure the ball ends with our guys kicking it.
Hill flushed, nowhere to go. Had Kinsey over in the area, so no flag down for grounding. Probably outside the tackle box as well. DJ Smith putting the pressure on the quarterback. 3rd time today they've collapsed that pocket around Colin Hill.
But the smart play there was to throw the football away. You could not afford to take a sack right there. You take a sack, you force Coach Mike Bobo to take a timeout, and now everything must go to the sideline. But now you throw the football away, you still got a timeout. You can throw the ball anywhere on the field and still able to get the timeout.
Oh, Kinsey had it and would have gotten the first down. Just dropped it. And here comes the field goal unit, and this could be interesting. As we told you a little bit about Caden Camper, the true freshman out of Pueblo, Colorado. They've had some issues with Maxwell Paduska, who's just 1 for 3 on the year. And Caden Camper gets a late invite to travel with the team.
And talking with Mike Bobo before the game, he said, I literally had a competition in pregame.
He hit from over 50 in a fall scrimmage. This one from 46. He's got it. Good thing they gave him a jersey.
Good thing they went and got him out of class. He just came up big for Colorado State, and that's impressive for a kid to come on the road and put up this kind of performance in the first half when they really need him in this ball game, and that's a momentum builder for Colorado State going into halftime. Dave, what is that? Is that the draw there or what?
That just looks like he hit it right flush on the screws. Hey, the coach is even excited for his young guy. Good decision.
That look is like, hey, I'm glad we brought this kid.
Makes it a 27-24 game, just 4 seconds to go before halftime. It has been an offensive show. 259 yards for the Rams, 308 for Arkansas. Time of possession almost dead even. Colorado State has run it 18 times. They've thrown it 18. Arkansas has rushed it 20, thrown it 21.
Wow. Not sure many people coming into this stadium they expected this kind of output, but I know Arkansas fans are excited.
Little pooch kick. Fair catch call for at the 25-yard line. So if you're Chad Morris and you're walking off, we'll hear from him in a little bit, but just are you feeling good where we are? Are we still kind of not sure where we are? What would be your impression of first half?
I think if you go back to the first two games, you're very encouraged on where this team is headed. Obviously, there's some situations in the ball game that didn't go your way, some things you wish you could have had back, some throws, some plays defensively and offensively. But I think to come in here and put up 27 points in the first half, this offense, this team, they have a lot to be excited about going into the second half versus a team that's coming here and compete.
Colin Hilton of 73 yards, well below his season average. Meanwhile, Nick Starkel got off to a hot start. He will finish up 11 of 21 for 136 and a couple of touchdowns and no picks. Now, coming up at halftime, you can watch the live performance of Razorback Marching Band on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming over on the ESPN app. And let's go down to Dawn.
All right, Coach, let's start first on the offensive side of the ball. Nick Starkel, 306 total yards in that half. What'd you like that has to continue?
Well, obviously got a hitter deep ball shot. He just overthrew it, but, man, we got him there. I think he's got us in a rhythm. We sputtered the last couple of drives with a turnover. That hurt us a little bit right there, but, we shot ourselves in the foot on that last drive. But, man, I like where we are. We just got to get in, make a few adjustments, and get back to rolling again.
You talk about those adjustments defensively. What do you point out to your team to slow them down?
They're getting outside of us too much. They're getting the edge too much on us. We got to be able to set the edge a little bit better now.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach John Chavis talked about guys having better angles defensively. We'll probably work on that in the locker room as well. It is halftime, 27-24 game. After the break, time for the studio. Darian the Boards will take it from there. Our score at the break, moments away from second half football. Arkansas will have the football to begin the second half. Dave Neal back alongside DJ Shockley and put the first 30 minutes into perspective for me.
I thought it was impressive because of what you've done the first couple of weeks. You haven't been able to go out and put up points like this. A couple things you want back, but I think you're in a good position heading into the second half.
Well, let's take a look at today's State Farm Star Watch. And Nick Starkel getting his first start as a member of the Arkansas Razorbacks. What did you make of his performance?
Well, I thought he threw the ball really efficiently. He found some deep throws outside the hashes. We thought he would throw the ball to the numbers. And because he's stretching the field, he's created lanes for Rakeem Boyd to run. They've had soft boxes, and look at these holes he's had to run through. Because he's able to stretch the field and throw it vertically as well as horizontally, Rakeem Boyd has been the benefactor of a big first half.
Starkel started 7 of 11 for 112 yards and a couple of touchdowns, but since he's 4 out of 10 for 24 yards, no TDs, and here's his pass breakdown. What does this tell you?
It tells you that he covers the entire field. He wants to. It doesn't matter where his players are. He's going to give them a chance to make some plays, and you can see the distribution from left, middle to right. He's going to throw it all over.
All told, these two teams have racked up a ton of offense. 305 for Arkansas, 259 for Colorado State. The rush game, how about this? Colorado State averaging 10 yards a carry. Arkansas 8 yards a carry.
So what you're telling me is they're going to run the ball in the second half.
You'd think.
So you got two offensive-minded coaches here that want to put the ball in the air, so we'll see how that works out.
Colorado State able to get that field goal in the waning seconds of the first half from Caden Camper, their true freshman who just got the invite to make the trip about 24 hours ago. Pulled them within 3. Another little pooch kick that'll be taken by Arkansas. Well, Mike Bobo walking out of that locker room was met by Don Davenport. What do you have to say, Don?
He asked him what his message was to his team, and he told him whoever executes best in this second half wins this fight. When he looks at his defensive execution, what he pointed out to his guys, he said, I thought we settled down at the end of that first half. He said, but we have got to be more patient, and we have to fit the run game right. That's going to be their focus here to slow down Nick Starkel in this offense.
Well, we'll see if they can do it. I mean, it's really been hit or miss. Both defenses have had a couple of possessions where they look very strong, and then they give up big chunks of yardage. And they go with Rakeem Boyd on the first carry. They'll spot him at around the 28-yard line, give him a 3-yard pickup. Logan Stewart making the tackle. Rakeem Boyd in that first half, 10 carries, 87 yards, long run of 59 yards. Averaging 8.7 per carry. Quick throw. That pass is caught by Traylon Burks. Burks, the young man out of Warren, Arkansas.
Knowing he's going to take a lick there, right there. Reaches up and snatches the football out of the air, and back goes the tempo, which we saw in that first quarter for Arkansas.
Little play action. Coming near side, trying to hit Jackson with it. Incomplete.
And they're going back to what Don talked about with fitting the run game. Both coaches said that because they both gave up some big runs. Both sides of the ball have to do a better job of fitting not just inside but outside as well. Both teams lost containment in the run game, and I'm sure both want to come back and do that.
Starkel hit as he throws. That one is incomplete, but here comes some flags. Trey Knox, the intended receiver. Rashad Ajayi back there says he can't believe it. He felt like it was Knox that was pushing off.
Number 4 defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Well, for Rashad Ajayi on the back end, he just has to take his hands off of him. Right here at the end of the play, you see him. He gets that right and left hand on him, and they're going to call that every single time. And you see Starkel getting that one-on-one coverage, but a little pressure in his face. He's just trying to give this guy an opportunity. You can see he's a fiery kid out there trying to get his playmakers fired up. But he's going to see a lot more pressure here in this second half.
First down and 10 in Colorado State territory.
So much room down here to the bottom of the field.
They'll run this way. Boy, stiff arm, stays on his feet. Now I want to go back. Watch Nick Starkel kind of set this up. Remember last week, Arkansas cost himself a touchdown because they were lined up incorrectly.
Yeah.
He was that time barking out directions to his 3 wide receivers, making sure they had enough on the line of scrimmage.
And that's a good eye by you, Dave. They understand if they don't line up right, bad things can happen.
Pass caught by Trey Knox. Pickup of 8.
And that's just learning from past experiences. And as Nick Starkel plays more in this offense, he'll understand more where guys should be. And when we talked to Coach Morris, he said at the beginning of the year, the reason why Ben Hicks was his quarterback was because Ben Hicks just understood what they wanted to do more than Nick Starkel did. And now you see he's starting to understand where everybody should be in this offense.
Woods comes in motion across the formation, but Starkel will throw. Pass is just snatched right out of midair by Traylon Burks inside the 5. They'll spot him down at the 4. A 27-yard pickup, and Arkansas hustling to the line.
And this is similar to what we talked about at the beginning of the game, the back shoulder throw. Receiver knows where the ball is. Defensive back does not. Starkle putting his player up to bat and Burks making a play.
Pressure comes. Starkle keeps it. Throws toward the end zone. Maybe an ill-advised throw there. Boy, it almost looked like he wanted to hand it off to Boyd. Knew that was a bad idea.
Arkansas times this up perfectly. He almost tackles Boyd and Starkle in the backfield, and I think Starkle is just trying to make something out of nothing. Almost like you mentioned, an ill-advised throw, but he was trying to make something out of nothing happen there.
Two tight ends. Working left side. Boyd, touchdown, untouched. A huge hole off the left side, and Boyd picks up his second rushing touchdown of the day. Boyd just eclipsed 100 yards for the 4th time in his Arkansas career with that 4-yard run. Limpert to attempt the point after. (34-24) our score.
Right guard coming right up here, doing a great job of clearing the hole for Rakeem Boyd. Perfect drive for Arkansas coming out of halftime, getting the score.
ESPN celebrating 150 years of college football.
From 150 years to 1 year. Ricky Stromberg in his first season hasn't even completed 1 year yet of college football. True freshman out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, came in as a 4-star prospect. And the reason we're showing you, he wasn't expected to be a starter on this offensive line, but due to a couple of injuries, Ricky Stromberg is getting the start. He came in super light, around 250. They got him up close to around 270, but we have seen him today, the young man, put together some very impressive blocks. After watching game tape last week, he kind of stood out to us as well on that offensive line.
Yeah, some guys just stick out when you watch him, and you can see the way they go about it. On this last touchdown play, here's Ricky Stromberg. He's going to get up on Daquan Jackson and watch him just maul him and create the lane for Rakeem Boyd to run up through. And look at him, just pushes him all the way out of the lane, and he's continually that's just extra effort that you like. And this guy's a true freshman. Joe Craig, offensive coordinator, said when they told him he was going to start last week, he just looked at him and said, okay.
Yeah, whatever. Didn't even have what you need me to do. That's what I'll do, I guess. He came out, he was considered the top 20 offensive guard nationally. And they think when he can get up to about 285 or so, he could be something else. There's Dante Wright. Boy, you can tell this. To get him the football in the opening play for the Rams in the third quarter, that's going to be an objective for them.
Yeah, that's a must. We haven't seen him line up in the backfield all game, but you can see the emphasis. We have to let this guy touch the football in this ball game. He hasn't had the opportunity to really get free, but you see right out the bat, put him in the backfield, throw him a little swing pass, and there you go, picks up 7-8 yards for you.
Second down and short. Hill will throw. Pass is caught. That goes to Trey McBride, and he'll have a first down. See what Mike Bobo wants to do tempo-wise. He told us he wanted to huddle more this game than he has in the past. They will huddle here, but we saw a little bit of tempo when they got in the red zone, but not a whole lot. Yeah,
and I think because they still have a lot of young guys in this offense, he wants this offense to be efficient. So they get in the huddle. They make sure guys know where they're supposed to line up, where they're supposed to go. And it helps the overall efficiency of the offense. But as this game goes on, I think that's a good thing to look out for if they get to some of that tempo.
We'll fake it to Kinsey. Hill will roll out. Pressure coming, and he just does get rid of it and throws it out of bounds. Boy, that's that clock you guys talk about. He kind of knew somebody had to be coming, right?
And the number one thing you don't want to do is pull up when you're rolling out. And you're starting to pull up, and you see the backside pressure was coming to him. And internally, he has to get rid of that football. T.J. Smith coming with the pressure on the edge. But as a quarterback, you understand 2, 3, 4 hitches, that ball has to get out your hand.
Colin Hill has struggled today. 12 of 21, 90 yards. This is a guy that came in completing 71% of his passes through 2 games. He will loft it up here. Looking for his big target on the outside, Warren Jackson.
And here's what you like. He did a good job. Look at the release. This ball has to be put on him now instead of trying to throw it upfield. He never gave Jackson a chance at that football. This is Colin Hill just not seeing it exactly how he's seen it over the first couple of weeks. You mentioned today, he struggled a little bit to throw the football, and that was a direct correlation there of how he's not seeing it, especially how he wants to.
This is his 10th start. He's thrown for over 300 yards in 5 of his starts. Hill, quick hitter. It's Dante Wright with it. There's a flag in the backfield. Hill gets smashed. He lost the football. They'll say Arkansas has it, but Colin Hill just got lit up, and there is a flag as he is slow as he walks toward that sidelines. Man, oh man.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, low hit on the quarterback, number 7, defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, first down.
And that left knee is taped up.
Yeah, these type of plays, they make you worry. You're talking about a guy coming off 2 ACL injuries, and you see Fouché coming in there a little bit low. It's not what you want to see. Anybody get hit that low like that. I'm glad to see that Colin Hill is still in the ball game. A little ginger there, but you see his lineman coming up to him and saying, "We got you," but that's tough right there. I've been in that position before. It does not feel good at all.
He talked to us about his path to this season and what a struggle it was. Tore his ACL and rehabbed. Tore it against Utah State back in 2016. Took a red shirt in 2017. Then while playing hoops in the summer, blew it out again. Here's Dante Wright. They'll toss it to Dante, and he'll pick up 9.5 yards. Cam Curl runs him out of bounds.
And we talked about they have to get Dante Wright involved. You're going to see him come right underneath a little shovel pass in front of him. Guys outside blocking for him on the edge. But the emphasis on getting 22 to football is a must.
That's Cam Curl. That is a big injury. He has been their playmaker on the back end. He's come up with an interception. He also, last week, old Cam had a chance to pick one up and go 69 yards. But he says it was a long way. That was a long 69 yards.
Yeah, him and Nick Stark will laugh about it. He said, "Man, I was tired trying to get there."
His first career pick in the opener against Portland State. So if he's all right and can get back in there, he's a really, really talented player.
Yeah, John Chavis talking about him getting guys lined up on that back end, so he's a huge part of what they do.
Inside handoff goes to Marvin Kinsey. He'll pick up 4. Kinsey, by the way, now with 153 yards on the ground on 12 carries. Boy, and now Colin Hill is down. He's just sitting on his rear end. And you wonder if that hit had some lingering effects.
Yeah, you can see even on the pass handoff, he couldn't even really set up after handing the football off. Was real ginger on that knee, and you can see Coach Bobo is definitely interested. And you see here, he handed off, and usually you have to set up right there. You see how ginger he is. And finally, you can see he's just not feeling well. He's just going to go down.
And this is what we think set this all up. Fouché went down to that left knee that's had 2 ACLs. Oh, man. You know, we get to know these young men. We had a chance to talk with him for a while last night. Just a great conversation about his journey to this point.
Yeah.
full of life and vigor and just happy, passionate to be back on the field. And then this happens. Boy, you just really feel for young men in these situations.
That's exactly what I took from it as well. Just an excitable kid, happy to be playing again. Went through his first spring this year. Everybody feeling good about his progress and how he's feeling. And you can only hope that he is okay, because this kid has a bright future and he fits so well into this offense.
Well, that means that we'll get to see their backup quarterback, which has really been a battle this season. Patrick O'Brien and Justice McCoy been battling it out. We're going to see Patrick O'Brien get some snaps, the redshirt junior, transfer from Nebraska. Thrown one pass this year for 29 yards. 6'5", another big one, 6'5", 244. They're all big these days. First play, they'll flush him out of the pocket, and O'Brien will run out of bounds and pick up 3 yards. Pressure came from Isaiah Nichols.
And this is a critical moment for him coming in this ball game. Colorado State driving the football. You're only down by 10 right now. And I'm sure the first thing he told him was, be good with the football. You must protect the football here in this high red area. You see he came in and tried to throw it right off the bat. So that tells you they have some confidence in Patrick O'Brien.
O'Brien sat out last year after transferring from Nebraska. Played sparingly for the Cornhuskers. Here's Kinsey. He'll take it inside the 25, down to the 23. Another 3-yard pickup. Jonathan Marshall making a tackle for the Razorbacks. But he came out of high school. He was considered by some recruiting experts as a top 10 quarterback. He was a finalist for that Elite 11 quarterback competition back in 2015.
Big third down here. I talk about it all the time. You get in this low red area where 3 points are practically on the board. How much trust does Mike Bobo have in Mr. O'Brien?
3rd down and 5. Bringing some heat. O'Brien's pass is caught. Down to the 15-yard line goes Trey McBride. They pick up 8 and move the chains.
Just a great job of understanding you're picked up. They bring up extra blitzer off the left side, but he does a great job of finding the hole right in here. Trey McBride sits it down in that zone area, and O'Brien puts it on him for a big 3rd down conversion.
Tenth play of this drive is Patrick O'Brien leading the charge now. Colin Hill on the sideline. Kinsey tries to hurdle a defender. That won't work. Fouché able to hold on, but a 9-yard pickup, and they're inside the 10, down to the 7.
It's a great job of getting into a run play there. Arkansas was in what I call a light box. They had 5 guys inside the tackle boxes, and you have 5 defensive guys for 5 offensive guys. Really, it's man-on-man blocking, and Kinsey does a great job of finding that extra hole and picking up 8 yards on 1st down.
They're going to go the big boy package, but they'll send Dante Wright in motion. Hand it off. Inside handoff goes to Thomas. He'll try to get the first down, and he does so. So it'll be 1st and goal from about the 4-yard line now for Colorado State.
You see you bring in the big package here. Jalen Thomas, 5'10", 207, more of the bruiser, downhill type of back. 12 carries for 56 yards on the season. But now you bring in Warren Jackson, E.J. Scott, all the big-time receivers here. See if they allow O'Brien to take a shot in the end zone here.
This drive started back at the 25. 11 plays, 70 yards. Kinsey back in at tailback. Oh, and he is met behind the line. He'll lose about 5. See where they spot it, back at the 9-yard line. TJ Smith just blowing that play up.
Yeah, we called TJ Smith name a couple times in this ball game, living on the other side of the line of scrimmage. The one thing that hurts run game is penetration. TJ Smith has been a thorn in the side of Colorado State's offensive line today.
So now it's 2nd and goal from about the 8.5. O'Brien, his first series, steps up in the pocket and is hammered. He's dropped at the 11. They'll lose another couple of yards. Grant Morgan, Devon McClure.
Cover 0 here. Both backers, they want to go QB draw. Ideal blitz for that particular play. And give John Chavis credit. That is a win for his defense. He called the right call on that particular play.
Bring the heat again?
Bring it again. Why not? I mean, you want to force the ball out of his hands quickly right here.
3rd and goal from the 11. O'Brien comes near side. Pass is caught. That goes to E.J. Scott, but he'll be shy of the goal line. They'll actually spot him back closer to the 3.5-yard line. Here comes the kicking unit for Colorado State.
You see Coach Bobo there. He was trying to get the timeout. I saw him trying to go get the timeout before that play started. But I'm sure he'll be fine with taking the 3 points here. Still a successful drive if you're Colorado State early here in the 3rd quarter.
.46-yarder made earlier by the true freshman Caden Camper. This from 21 near hash mark. He will split the uprights. Make it a 7-point game here at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. Colin Hill, how badly is he injured? We'll try to get an update. Well, an unfortunate scene here at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. Colin Hill with a limp toward the locker room. Left the game on a low hit, actually a couple plays after the low hit around the knee. And that young man, you could tell he wanted to gut it out, but something seriously wrong with him as he heads back into the tunnel. And Patrick O'Brien, though, took the reins. The redshirt junior out of San Juan Capistrano, California, led him to a field goal to make it a 7-point game with 5:45 to go. Matter of fact, DJ, that was the longest drive we've had in the game. Most of these drives have been relatively quick. That was 7:22 off the clock, 15 plays, 72 yards.
Methodical drive, had some short yardage situations they had to overcome. So
another pooch kick, and with that, let's try to get more on the Colin Hill situation. Dawn, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't have anything official from Colorado State, but I can tell you that while Colin Hill was in the tent, his parents made their way down to the sideline from up in the stands, and their conversation with the trainer, when the trainer saw them, came over and chatted with them, and both of them just shook their heads when they heard the news from the trainer. The trainer did say he took a direct hit to that left knee. His parents also following him into the locker room, but judging by reaction, this could be something serious for Colin Hill.
Oh, man.
Golly.
Devion Warren trying to find a little bit of room. Nothing working there as he's swallowed up after a couple of yards on that play. But this was right before Hill went back in the locker room. He talking to his head coach, Mike Bobo. And you know those two have spent a ton of time together over the last 4 years. Young man from South Carolina who actually, Mike Bobo learned about him when Hill went to a 7-on-7 camp in Athens when Coach Bobo was still on that Georgia staff. He was actually, if it wasn't for Jacob Eason, Coach Bobo was going to go make a play for him to come to the University of Georgia. Then he got the job at Colorado State and realized, you know what, I think I want Colin Hill part of this team. And so he went and told him and sold him on the Rams program, and that's how those two connected and hooked up.
And you can see the investment there. I mean, you can see how tough it was for him to talk to him, and from what Don said about his parents and how much time he's put in. It's just tough. And then now you can see they have to go through a whole other game plan now. You see him, he's writing down, he's sitting there talking to O'Brien, telling him, hey, what do you like? What are the things you're comfortable with? The game plan now changes. The plays changes for him. It's going to be interesting to see how they have to adapt on the fly to what O'Brien does well.
Good news is O'Brien was able to be in this system last year just as a redshirt as he transferred from Nebraska. On 3rd down and 4 over the middle. That one is dropped. They tried to hit Warren with it, and the Rams defense steps up big. They will force a punt opportunity down, a touchdown.
What a nice job right here. Outside leverage, but at the end, swats that football out with that right hand. Anthony Hawkins getting in there and giving a big, big stop there on 3rd down. You can see the excitement from Janzik right there, defensive coordinator for Colorado State. Getting off the field, 3 and out, giving the football back to him. Gonna have positive field position.
And the dangerous Dante Wright back to return this punt. He'll have some room as he stands around the 30-yard line. Sam Lloyd to punt it away. Oh, good hang time, tight spiral, forcing the fair catch at around the 28-yard line. That's where the Rams will have it after a 40-yard punt. Patrick O'Brien was watching a pretty good game. Now he's right in the middle of it. Thanks, Dari. And, of course, quarterbacks, the story here as well. Mike Bobo, a former quarterback himself at the University of Georgia, now working with his backup, Patrick O'Brien. Got in last series for the injured Colin Hill. They'll set up 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. They'll get it to Kinsey. And swarming Arkansas defense led by Scooter Harris. No gain on the play. By the way, during that break, we got an update down on the field. Got the official word that we will not see Colin Hill again the rest of the day. Obviously don't know the severity. They got to go through all that x-ray stuff, the medical procedure to figure all that out. But obviously it is not good.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. As he's coming off 2 ACLs already and excited about a new season. And just can only hope it's not as serious as they thought it is.
Trying to throw it back to Kinsey, has a chance to catch it, but running right back into the teeth of that defense. This time he'll lose 3 yards on a little throwback to the Ram running back, Hayden Henry, the first one there.
Yeah, Dave, that's number 1 on the screenplay. You never go back into the middle where all the big guys are coming. They're coming to hunt you down, but here's a big 3rd and long situation. You're backed up. You're only down about 7 points here. What do? You call draw? You just ran screen there on 2nd down. How comfortable are you with Patrick O'Brien right here, backed up?
Let him throw it down the field.
I hear you. I'm with you.
3rd and 13. 4-man rush. Pocket collapses. O'Brien will throw on the run. Down the field. Caught by Wright. Does he stay in bounds? He does, to the end zone. Touchdown, Colorado State, 75 yards. Boy, it looked like he stepped out of bounds.
This is big-time play here from a big-time player. Does he stay in bounds here? Watch that left foot. I think he does. He is in bounds. There's green in between his foot and the sideline.
Oh, my goodness.
Dante Wright showing up in the biggest way. Haven't called his name throughout this ball game. We talked about it in the first couple series, getting him the football. You see why they're excited about that freshman.
Only 5'10", 160, going up high, grabbing the football, staying in bounds, and then wins the race.
What about Pat O'Brien, though? Making a play inside the pocket here. Dante Wright going up for the football, making a huge play for Colorado State. We're all tied. We got a ball game here.
His short collegiate career, the true freshman out of Navarre, Florida, originally committed to Tulane. They made a coaching change. They decided, hey, you can play a little defense for us. And he's like, no.
I want no parts of that.
Yeah, so Colorado State, which had been on him a little bit, said, you can come over here and play some offense. And all he's done is score 5 touchdowns in the first 2.5 games of his career and just picked up a huge touchdown reception from their backup quarterback, Patrick O'Brien. That one went 75 yards. O'Brien, by the way, 4 of 4, 88 yards and a touchdown.
Talking about being an impact player. Yeah, Arkansas had him corralled there in the first half, but it was only a matter of time before he got loose.
How did he get loose?
Well, you can see Dante Wright is way over here. His quarterback is going to be scrambling around, and he just works all the way across the field as his quarterback, Patrick O'Brien, makes a couple guys miss inside the pocket. But look at the eyes here. He stays downhill, and then Patrick O'Brien puts him up to bat. And the 5'10", Dante Wright goes up and makes a spectacular play and finish it for a huge play for Colorado State. And he's got speed. We talked about the 10-7, 100-yard, 100-meter dash this guy runs.
Rakeem Boyd breaking a couple of tackles. He'll pick up 6. Dante Wright in high school set their school record at 28 TDs in a junior year. How about this? His junior year of high school, he had 39 catches. 15 of those 39 receptions were touchdowns.
Yeah. You just want to get him in space. That's what it's all about.
Ellison Hubbard throwing Boyd to the turf. Gain of only 4. Boy, they realized a couple practices into the fall camp that they had something with Dante Wright. We were talking to Mike Bobo about it. It didn't take him long to figure out this guy is going to be involved.
And most freshmen, it takes them a little while to get going or learn the system. Say, no, this kid coming, and he learned it really quickly. This guy's a pre-med student studying biology.
And doesn't talk to anybody.
It doesn't talk to anybody.
They said he's super quiet. Boyd on the handoff, trying to get to the 35, and they're going to spot him a little bit shy of.
I don't think he got it.
1:12 clock's moving here, close to 1:10. I mean, what do you think? 4th down and inches. If you're Chad Morris, what do? You
got to, if it's 4th down in your own territory, you got to punt the football. Right now, momentum is on Colorado State's side. You come up with a stop here. And as you can see, if you're going to force them to win this ball game, at least make them go full field. Don't give them the short field. And I think Chad Morris makes the right decision here and punts the football.
Arkansas going to have to take a timeout. The play clock winding down. And, boy, the crowd here certainly doesn't like the call to punt it. But I tell you what, you don't want to miss here.
Yeah. Because if you go for it and don't get it, you think they're going to be excited about that? No.
Boy, it was a wild and crazy game a year ago. We got another crazy one this year. Here's that last play.
Well, there's the penetration. Just a stalemate up front. Nobody gets any movement.
No, he didn't. To me, it looks like a great spot right on top of it.
It's a spot-on call there. That's where Arkansas has struggled this season, is up front, is moving people. The physicality up front hasn't been there at all times. In short yardage, it's man-on-man. Can you move your guy another yard? Colorado State won that.
Well, now he decides to bring the offense back out.
This has got to be your best 4th down call right here. You got man coverage on the outside.
He tried to get him to jump. No, Stark was going to keep it, and a flag is down on the near sideline. Did Ricky Stromberg pop up? It looked like there might have been a little bit of movement inside.
False start, right guard, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down. Number 51.
Stromberg is right here, your right guard. There you go. You see the butt just pop up just a little bit, trying to fire up the football there.
Boy, for all the great things he has done today, that's the one that's going to stick with him for a long time. Starkville had the 1st down.
Yeah, they were going for it. It wasn't a draw them off sides.
Dante Wright back to return this punt from Sam Loy. It is a good high kick. And another fair catch called for by Wright. 39-yard punt. We talked about last year coming down to the wire. Razorbacks traveled up to Fort Collins. The Rams scored 25 unanswered points, rallied from 18 down to win it 34-27. Wyatt Bryan kicked a 22-yard field goal with 5:19 to go in the fourth. Izzy Matthews put the Rams ahead for good with a 1-yard TD run with 8 seconds remaining. Current Miami Dolphin Preston Williams caught 12 balls that day for 154 yards and 2 TDs. Mike Bobo said that he thought his team garnered some momentum. Didn't turn out that way. Meanwhile, Chad Morris, he said that loss sent his team into a spiral, changed the whole direction of their season.
Kind of what we talked about in the open, and you see the last 4 drives there for both teams.
McElroy out to the 35-yard line, picks up 3. And look, we hit on it earlier. We're going to say it again. These next 2 weeks for Arkansas are huge. Huge. You got 2 non-conference games here, Colorado State, San Jose State. And then you get into the meat of your schedule, starting with Texas A&M. They got to have these.
And the momentum and confidence you build in games like this, going into a tough, rugged SEC schedule, has to be built right now, not when you get into those games.
We are tied at 34 after 3 quarters of football. It should be a wild finish from Reynolds Razorback Stadium. Be sure to stay with us.
NFL Prime Time is back on Sunday nights, airing exclusively on ESPN Plus at 7:30 p.m. Eastern all season long.
Boomer and Tom back at it, bringing us some highlights on ESPN Plus. Cannot wait for that one to get cranked up. Here's Marvin Kinsey, breaks a tackle. Cam Curl trying to push him out of bounds, but not before. Kinsey picks up another 13 yards as he gets close to midfield.
And I was wondering when you would come back to this. Kinsey's the guy came in this ball game. You see the average, 10.2 yards a carry, 13 on that particular run. He has been the difference in the run game, and I expect to see more of this in the fourth quarter. As you got a new quarterback in, he's done well to throw the football, but where you have to lean on is those 2 characters in Kinsey and McElroy.
McElroy inside Arkansas territory. He'll pick up 3. And here comes Colin Hill back on the field after getting out of his football uniform in the sweats. And again, just hope that it's nothing too serious after they get the x-rays and the MRIs taken care of.
And Dave, I'll be honest, I had an injury like this in my last year and thought it was serious and went back, and I just missed 2 weeks with a little MCL sprain. So hopefully it's to that degree and not to the degree that keeps him out for a long time.
O'Brien throws back shoulder, pass is caught. Nice grab from Warren Jackson right in front of Jarquez McClelly, and a pickup of 12.
The ball placement on this is perfect. Look at, he kind of squeezed him to the sideline, but again, McClellan never looks back for the football. And Warren does a good job of going up with that big 6'6" frame and snatching it out of the air and getting that foot down for a big conversion.
Boy, coaches talk about his big catch radius. That's a prime example of that.
Look at that right foot, getting it down. It's a great job of concentration.
Not much working there. Dante Wright, maybe a yard.
This is where your leaders have to step up. Scooter Harris making a big tackle there. Missed the tackle previously a couple plays ago, Kinsey. But guys like Scooter Harris and McTelvin Agam have to be playmakers for you on defense, as Colorado State pretty much has everything at their disposal at the moment.
So 2nd down and 9. Wright goes in motion. This time they'll hand it off to Kinsey. He runs into some Razorback defenders after a pickup of 3. bring up a 3rd down coming up. Well, you just wonder what's going through his mind. It's Mike Bobo. You know what's going through his mind. What's the next best play I got?
That's all he can think about right now. Is calling the right play. This goes back to game plan. What does Patrick O'Brien feel good about here on 3rd down? You want to get him in the best possible situation or play that he feels most comfortable in throwing.
O'Brien flush, trying to find somebody open, and Wright had it and dropped it. Would have been shy of the line to gain anyway. Pressure came from Soley.
You see Egan, who we just talked about, coming off the edge there, trying to force the football out of his hand. And O'Brien does a good job of just getting rid of that football, giving Wright a chance at it. Where here comes a big, big field goal here for Caden Camper, who we've seen hit some big ones today.
Already hit from 46. He's hit from 21. This will be from 50. And again, if you're just joining us, he didn't even know he's making the trip till yesterday. They've had some kicking issues, and they brought him along. That kick is on the way, and it is no good. He missed it left, had the distance. The Hogs get the stop. .11:35 to go in the 4th quarter. It is a tie ball game between the Hogs and the Rams here at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. Big drive coming up for Arkansas. The question is, can Nick Starkel make some plays? The first quarter, he was sensational. But things have dramatically quieted down. And overthrows O'Grady. It was there for a relatively big gainer.
And this is where not having the experience of playing in a while gets to you. He has to get that head around right away because he's going to have somebody in his face.
Oh, boy.
And he just has to give it to him. Just float it out there. And that's a big play for O'Grady. But a little rusty here in this second half is Nick Starkel.
What has Colorado State done to really limit him here in the last 2.5 quarters?
I think they have just really done a good job of right on cue with that throw, but they've done a good job of just testing all the throws that Nick Starkel has had. So the corners, the DBs on the outside have really played well. A lot of pass breakups here in the second half for Colorado State. They come to the corner blitz there, and Starkel does a great job of getting the ball out of his hands.
First time we've really seen some zip on a pass for him in a while. Comes across the middle. This one is picked up by Burks, and he's inside the 40, down to the 39, a 15-yard gain. Jamal Hicks trips him up.
And you see right there, right guard Myron Cunningham is in the ball game, taking place of Ricky Stromberg. Cunningham was the guy who started the first 2 games. Stromberg, the freshman, now out of the ball game. But nice job of RPO action there, getting the ball out and throwing it to Burks there.
Oh, right in the belly of Trey Knox. It was on him right as he turned the corner. Gain of 20.
Talk about the ability to let this ball go. 1-2, balls out of his hand, and that's a dime shot there with Trey Knox on the outside, and he does such a great job of adjusting to the football.
Now they'll run it with Boyd right up the middle, and he'll get it inside the 15-yard line. Boy, a couple of nice throws by Starkel, opens things up a little bit. It's almost like somebody on the sideline said, Nick,
where have you been?
Yeah, let's go. Get back in this thing. You got to make some plays. 3 out of 4 on this drive. Down to the 10-yard line goes Rakeem Boyd. Boyd now 18 carries, closing in on 120 yards.
You see the change up on defense. after a couple plays where you play a lot of zone coverage. Janzik makes the executive decision to bring pressure on that last play to try to restrict the rushing lanes for Arkansas. I expect this ball to be in the air.
Couple of tight ends. Whaley in the game at running back. They will hand it to Devwa. He's inside the 5. It'll be 1st and goal as he has the first down. He picks up 6 the hard way.
The run game gets going. It is very special for Arkansas, and you can see the last couple plays after they bring a blitz, and then they sit back in the zone coverage there, and they run it right down Colorado State's throat.
1st and goal, Arkansas. 8th play of this drive. Starkel, pressure, throws back over the middle, and wisely threw it out of the back of the end zone. Manny Jones getting some pressure on Starkel to disrupt that play. 5th time they've gotten to Starkel in that situation.
And every time they come uphill, that defensive end on the side they're booting to is the guy that gets the pressure on Starkel. That time, good job of just throwing that football away, but he had an opportunity to see it before he threw away, which ultimately did not take a sack.
3 tight end look. Arkansas runs it with Whaley to the end zone. Touchdown from 5 yards out, and the Hawks are back out in front.
Just what Arkansas needed, their quarterback to step up and make some throws down the field. And then you come back with the two-headed monster, Rakeem Boyd and Devwa Whaley. Tough, hard, physical runs there as they got close to the red zone, and Whaley punching it in. And Arkansas taking the lead.
Limpert makes it a 7-point game. 8:52 to play. Arkansas 41, Colorado State 34. Devwa Whaley's been fumbling the football of late. Coach said he needed some confidence. I think he's got it.
The doctor ordered for Arkansas offensively. Nick Starkel getting back into the rhythm of his offense, throwing the football, making some timely throws, putting the football on his receivers so they can make some plays. And those big dynamic receivers on the outside adjusting to the football, making plays outside. And then Devwa Whaley, that offensive line took over late in the drive, and Arkansas back on top.
And talking to Nick Starkel yesterday, you could see the pain in his eyes when he talked about his experience of not getting the job at Texas A&M when he really felt like he had earned the right to be their starter and had to wait here a couple of games before he got the job. And you know how important this game was to him, and they needed him on that drive, and they got it. And this is why Coach Morris was telling us yesterday how important these next 2 games are, because look at the gauntlet coming up after San Jose State. A&M, Kentucky, Auburn, Alabama.
And you know what, Dave? One of the more important things he mentioned was Colorado State, San Jose State. But right there, September 28th, Nick Starkel playing against his old team at Texas A&M. You think he won't be excited and ramped up to play in that ball game? Not just for Nick Starkel, but this entire team needs some good things to happen for him. A couple wins, a couple confident builders to get him ready for that SEC rugged schedule.
Well, they need their defense now to slow down this Colorado State offense behind their backup quarterback, Patrick O'Brien. O'Brien will step up in the pocket, near side, looking for right, and that hits the back of an Arkansas helmet. Darius Bishop on the coverage of Dante Wright.
Yeah, they come out first play and they run double move here by Dante Wright, and ball is underthrown by Patrick O'Brien. Well, he had a step on him, had a chance, but Darius Bishop was there. Didn't panic when the ball was in the air. But if this ball was thrown out a little bit more, you can see the reaction by Mike Bobo there, wishing he threw it out there maybe a couple more yards.
O'Brien 5 of 7 for 100 yards, a touchdown. Facing 2nd down and 10. A transfer from Nebraska. He'll keep it, try to find a little bit of a hole, and he'll get it out to the 28-yard line, maybe the 29, and set up a 3rd down and about 6. 8.5 to go.
You gotta allow Patrick O'Brien to play big-time football here. You gotta trust him. 8 minutes to go in this ball game. The way Arkansas moved the football last drive, this has to be a conversion. What is the best third down play Mike Bubble has in his playbook right now?
A nickel package defensively for Arkansas. Looks like they're going to bring some heat, see if they fall back or do they come with the pressure. O'Brien feels the pressure, bootlegs out of trouble, but the pass is incomplete. Looking for Cameron Butler, who had his hands on the football. Pressure came from Sully again to disrupt the play.
Nice job by avoiding the first pressure, getting outside. But this is a ball you have to catch. This ball hits him right in the chest, and this is an easy third down conversion. And that hurts if you're Colorado State not converting there when you had the opportunity.
Ryan Stonehouse, excellent punter, career average over 47. They'll need a boomer here as Burke stands back at the 25. That kick will hit around the 27 and bounce out of bounds. 7:42 to go. Arkansas up a touchdown. The transfer from SMU started the first 2 games for Arkansas. Those are his numbers, 46%, 241 through the air. Replaced in the second half last week at Ole Miss. That's when Nick Starkel went 17 of 24 for 201. Got the job this week and has had some moments where you are certainly impressed with his arm strength, his ability to move this team. Last drive, they really threw the ball to set up the run. He was very effective overall, 234 through the air with a couple of TDs, and I think the big number is 0 interceptions.
That is a monster number.
Boyd spins out of trouble, will fall forward for about 2.5 yards. And with 7:34 to go, do you want to? I mean, how conservative do you want to be here? There seems to be quite a bit of time to turn to a run game completely.
Dave, I'll be honest. I think the way this offense is, you must be aggressive. You have to continue what you did the last drive. Allow Starker to throw the football. Whenever there's the threat of him throwing the ball downfield, that's when his offense has really clicked and played well.
Second down, they will ask him to throw. Pass is caught right at the line to gain by Trey Knox. Pickup of 9 for Trey Knox. That's his 6th catch of the day.
And here's what you like. This ball is the back foot and the ball's out. As soon as he turns around, the ball's on him in a nice spot too. Inside because the defensive back is outside. Big receiver like that shields the defender. The rhythm that Starkel's been on the last 2 drives is pretty special.
Trey Knox was an early enrollee, had a chance to run through spring practice with these guys. Considered a top 5 player coming out of the state of Tennessee. They'll hand it off to Boyd, trying to find some room. He gets stuffed at about the 38-yard line by Logan Stewart and Cameron Carter. Gain of about 1.5 yards.
I don't mind the play call on first down, keeping Colorado State honest by running the football. And we know with Boyd's speed, his ability to make guys miss, he's only one guy away from taking it the distance.
Second down and 9. Nick Starkel checking with Chad Morris. They'll change the play. Lofts it up, has O'Grady. First down inside the 40. He's still on his feet. Down to the 30. Are you kidding me? He's going to take it to the end zone. What a job by Cheyenne O'Grady. 62 yards. Man.
This is why you don't give up on Cheyenne O'Grady. This is why you continue to feed him, because he can make plays like this. Effort, attitude, everything you want from your tight end, he gave it to you on that particular run. And you think they aren't excited to see Cheyenne O'Grady?
Point after is up and good. It is now 48-34. Cheyenne O'Grady's been sick this week. We didn't know how much he would play today, but they are glad he suited up. That one is for the highlight reel for sure.
You talk about Nick Starkel here, going through the process of, do I like a good play? Am I in a bad play? You see Colorado State moving around on defense, and you see him go up. Now he's changing the play. Look at the box here. You have 7 guys inside the box here. That's not conducive for running the football. You got one-on-one on the outside, press coverage all the way across the board, and you find your tight end Cheyenne O'Grady versus a linebacker who does not want to be in space. And all this is want to right here. He's got 5, 6 Colorado State players around him trying to bring him down, and the effort and attitude for him to get through all these different tackles here. Dave, you said it right. Oh my God. Nobody could bring down Cheyenne O'Grady here. What a big play for Arkansas.
Starkel loving it. That'll take him up over 300 yards. 3 touchdowns today. Cheyenne O'Grady, 3 catches, 74 yards. And that remarkable touchdown, catch and run. Tell you what, it has been a up and down career here. Off the field, maybe some things you'd want to change around a little bit. But when it comes to making a play, Cheyenne has been there.
I mean, that's why sometimes it's hard when you have such a really good player and they're doing things off the field to hurt themselves, because you can see the potential in these kids when they get on the field. And you want to just steer them in the right direction. And Chad Morris has hung strong with his big-time tight end, Cheyenne O'Grady, and he just repaid this Arkansas team with a big-time play.
He led the team last year with 30 catches, and all of those receptions came in the final 8 games. Colorado State's going to have to take a timeout. .5:32 to play in this one.
Dave, I don't know about you, but coming into this stadium today, I did not see Arkansas putting up 48 points. This is a new-look team, a new-look offense, and they have –
522 yards of offense for Arkansas, 427 for Colorado State. Patrick O'Brien in relief of Colin Hill, who left injured in the 3rd quarter after taking a shot to his knee. Gain of 7. That one goes to Butler.
Arkansas defensively now it's all about keeping everything in front of you. You can't allow a big strike or a big play here to get the football for Colorado State and make a big play.
Kinsey with a career-high rushing the football, picks up 5 more. Kinsey now with 181 yards on 19 carries, averaging 9.5 yards per carry. Scooter Harris with another tackle. That's 11 for their middle linebacker. Loss of a yard. There's Scooter again. You know, we were talking to Coach John Chavis, the defensive coordinator, about Scooter. When you look at his numbers, right, he had 118 tackles last year. He had over 100 2 years ago. But he came into this one and he'd only had 9 total tackles. We were saying, you know, is there something going on with Scooter? And he looked at us, no.
He's good.
No, he's good. We're good with Scooter.
And we can see why.
Yeah.
He's all over the place today.
Second down. Let's call it 12. Pressure comes. O'Brien is sacked inside the 25. Gabe Richardson.
Gabe Richards coming right off this edge right here. You're going to see him come right off this edge here. And makes a huge play coming through that gap right here. They picked it up really well on the outside. He was unblocked. Guy on the edge takes the tackle away, and Gabe comes right, screaming right through for the sack.
Well, now it's 3rd and forever. Back at the 26-yard line. They got to get it out to the 47. They'll dump it off underneath to Kinsey, and he has fumbled the football. It is scooped up by Ladarius Bishop. Touchdown, Arkansas. You can call the Hogs now.
The Hogs are definitely being called now. Effort, attitude, finishing for this Arkansas defense. And you talking about John Davis's defense is playing and hitting on all cylinders here in the 4th quarter. Finishing this ball game is of the essence for this team.
Point after coming up from Limpert. It is good. Give credit on that play to Hayden Henry, the junior linebacker, the guy a lot of his teammates refer to as an animal. Watch this play. And then Bishop says thank you very much. The scoop and score, and Arkansas has opened it up. Exhibition. That's right. Over 20 sculptures are displayed around town here in Fayetteville this weekend. Exhibition started as a fundraising and awareness effort led by the Ozark Literacy Council, a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing basic literacy and language instruction for area residents. Pigs are painted by local artists, sponsored by local businesses, then placed somewhere in town. Actually, they're placed all over town. They're everywhere.
Everywhere. You talked about seeing one was going back to the hotel. We were pretty excited about it.
Well, Arkansas putting on a exhibition here in the 4th quarter. Here comes Hawkins bringing it out of the end zone. He is out to the 33-yard line. This got the crowd all juiced up. Some defense.
Here's Hayden Henry right here. He's going to come all the way around. Watch just the effort of him coming all the way around here to make this play. It never stops on the play. Continues to fight. And boom, you never know when it's going to be your turn. And Hayden Henry comes with a big old hit right there to free the football.
He's got 5 tackles today, 2 behind the line, a pass broken up, forced that fumble.
The backers for Arkansas have played pretty well today. Between him and Scooter Harris, they've had a day.
O'Brien. They swing it out. Flag comes in from our back judge. True freshman Greg Brooks. Well, they are high on this young man.
No.
Mark Curls, our referee.
Personal foul, blindside block, number 85, offense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, 3-play first down.
Here's Scooter Harris on the inside. He's going to be coming here, and here's the blindside block right here by Trey McBride. And you see as he comes across throwing that bubble screen, and Trey McBride gets him, he's not even looking. There's your personal foul. And things just have not gone good for Colorado State these last 3 or 4 minutes.
Got to have those arms extended. They're saying you can still block him, but you just can't use your shoulder to drive a guy that's certainly not prepared to be hit like that. That blind side block, trying to
cut back on all those. A lot of injuries come from that particular block.
So now they are backed all the way up. 1st and 25. O'Brien, they'll be even backed up further inside the 10. A loss of 7 more. Fouché putting the pressure along with T.J. Smith, who gets credit for the sack.
Yeah, Fouché is the reason why he had to step up and buy a little time, and T.J. Smith does a good job of beating his one-on-one matchup. But Fouché absolutely calls the sack.
Boy, nothing there for McElroy. Fouché coming up for another tackle behind the line. That's 8 tackles behind the line of scrimmage today for this Arkansas defense. Now, there's still a lot to clean up. They've given up big chunk plays today, which you know Coach John Chavis will be irritated watching the tape. And he talked about angles, especially guys on the back end using better angles to make plays. I think we saw some of that occur today.
And one thing they're not going to be excited about either when they watch the film is the yards they give it up in the run game. Gave up 238 last week, over 200 this week.
4-man rush. O'Brien steps up, and he'll be hit and drop back at the 14-yard line. And Fouché, how about that series from number 7, the sophomore out of New Orleans? He was in on every one of those plays.
Just being a nuisance to Colorado State in their entire drive, but we've seen Fouché all over the field today. Scooter Harris, Hayden Henry, T.J. Smith. They absolutely stepped up their game in this game today, especially near the end of this ball game when they had to put it away. This defense stepped up and played well.
Stonehouse will punt it away to Traylon Burks. Fair catch called for with 41 seconds to play. So, this Arkansas team desperately needed this one. Probably more than we'll ever know.
Yeah.
But they found a way. It was tied at 34. And all the momentum was on the Colorado State sideline. Nick Starkel needed to make some plays. He did. And that kind of set the course for the fourth quarter.
It gives you that confidence after the loss last week on the road in Ole Miss. And we talked about extensively what's going to happen the next couple of weeks. Big win here today versus Colorado State, next week versus San Jose State. And then you jump into the SEC gauntlet. So this is a confidence and momentum builder for this Arkansas program.
So Nick Starkel won't have to take another snap. Arkansas will pick up the win. They put 55 on the board. Mike Bobo's Colorado State Rams had a chance. They had it tied at 34, and then the wheels just fell off. They lose their quarterback, Colin Hill. Let's hope he's not out for very long. Two guys that have gone against each other. When Coach Morris was at Clemson, Coach Bobo was at the University of Georgia. Met last year in Fort Collins and here in Fayetteville. But this Arkansas team goes to 2-1. Colorado State will drop to 1-2 with its 55-34 victory by the Hogs. And Nick Starkel, 20 of 35, 305. Colin Hill finished 13 of 23, 99 yards. What do you make of Starkel's first start for the Arkansas Razorbacks?
I thought it was what you would probably think of. It'd be a little bit up and down, have some good stuff, have some bad. But I thought it gave them an opportunity to win this ball game with how he threw the football. Stretched the field vertically, gave his guys an opportunity to throw the football, got the ball out of his hands, did not turn the football over. Nick Starkel gave this team a spark for 4 quarters, and you can see when this offense is hitting on all cylinders and their playmakers are playing big, this offense may be a lot to contend with as the season goes on.
I mean, 520 yards of offense, nothing to laugh at. Nick Starkel, 20 of 35, those 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. And I mean, they always talk about quarterbacks and game 1 to game 2 for him.
Yep.
I know he's played a little bit here in the first couple of games, but this was his show. I'm anxious to see how he plays next week against San Jose State. Speaking of Mr. Starkel, Dawn Davenport has corralled him. Let's go down to the field.
Here in your first start, how did this one feel?
It felt good to get the win, but obviously we left a lot of points out on there on the board. Some throws I wish I had back, definitely some plays that, we easily could have made. And, I'm upset about that, and we're going to correct that tomorrow and keep going.
You finished with 305 yards in the air. What did you see from those young wide receivers? You said coming in, you knew you had to keep it simple for them, but what did you see from them in this one?
They just got to drive. I mean, they want to compete. They want to compete, and they're always coming up to me saying, hey, give me the ball, give me the ball. And I love to hear that as a quarterback because that means they're winning their one-on-one matchups, they're winning their routes, and they're seeing it good. And so, they did a great job today. I'm very, very proud of them.
Fourth quarter for you, what was going through your mind? Big touchdown to kind of finish it off. What went through your mind in that fourth quarter?
It was just finish. Every play we got to finish. And, I stressed the O-line, keep doing what they were doing. We're going to run the ball, and we're going to get those pass looks, and we're going to throw it. So that was really game plan, and we knew that.
Congratulations, Nick. I'll let you go celebrate.
Thank you.
Those two young guys, Knox and Burks, combined for 10 catches, 182 yards. And, of course, a huge day right there by Rakeem Boyd, 20 for 122. This is an offense, when they get it going, they can certainly look impressive. And they were impressive in the fourth quarter, to say the least, as they win it 55-34 over Colorado State. Up next, it's San Jose State right here in Fayetteville on an SEC Saturday night a week from today. Arkansas 2-1, Colorado State 1-2. Coming up next, right here on the SEC Network, we'll get you out to Baton Rouge, 4th-ranked LSU hosting Northwestern State. So for DJ Dawn, I'm Dave Neal. Good night from Fayetteville.